And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 187. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. So in this episode of the MSK show, this is something that I talked about on previous episodes of the MSK show that I wanted to do with people that I have reviewed comic books with, or I did comic book news related content with as well. Well, me and Jared, we did one-on-ones before on my previous Iron Man podcast episode, and he'll be on a one-on-one later on in this show too, but he obviously knows comics because you can definitely tell by his shelf. Definitely reads them too. So eventually we will do a comic book review together at some point, or we'll do a general discussion at some point, but it'd be awesome to have, obviously. Mm-hmm. But Professor Savage Dad is here. He's driving home from work right now. He'll be home in about 10, 15 minutes. So we'll start the hot takes when he's here. So essentially the format of the show goes like this. One person brings out their comic book hot take and we talk about it. Some of them may or may not end up on my comic book channel, actually. So I told them before, try to have a free-flowing conversation when we're in the hot take phase. Because, randomly, Labs Comic Fan is always like, you know what? I love Superman. I really do. But Jeff Johns is a hot, sexy, good-looking man. He'll do that a lot.
That sounds exactly like anything I would say. You have me nailed, dude. Good job.
Oh, God. So just want to also let you guys know about this. So when we do this kind of thing, it's not going to be all the time, obviously. People have like lives and schedules, right? So going to try and do this hopefully once a month, maybe if we can. And it won't just always be based on comic books. It could be movies, anime, TV, video games, streaming, whatever. I thought comic books would be the nice starting point because, well, fuck us, right? We all kind of know it very well. As you guys can see, it's not even half of what I own. I have more shit you guys haven't even seen yet, also in my other part of my house as well. I have packages that are just to the very, very top. And landlord gets kind of mad at me for having. He's like, how do you order that much stuff? I work. What do you always ask that? They're like, how do you have so much stuff? You have a job? You have a 9-to-5? How does anybody afford anything? What the fuck kind of question is that? How do you afford life? I don't know. A job. Good God. So we'll do intros really quickly, and then we'll just start having bro talk. We're going to also drink a cold one with the boys. Ugh.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. I think this summer will definitely be busy, man, with Superman, Fantastic Four. That'll be a very interesting couple of months talking wise.
Hell yeah.
I think.
Emily, hi, how you doing? Hope you're doing pretty good. Let's start with Lunchbox Warren. What's up, man?
What's up? How goes it?
You ready for tonight? And then potentially a later show. We're just going through the ringer these days. Holy fuck. But Warren said he hates me behind the scenes.
Hot takes, but I will I think it's gonna be fun tonight.
All right. So how's your comic book Sig and Joe going? Did you get any more panels done? Are you almost done, actually?
I've almost got issue 4 laid out. I have like maybe 8 more pages to do. I mean, kind of like it's the last one of the story arc. So I'm going through stories finished and I'm doing the stuff setting up the next arc right now. And I should have it done either tonight or tomorrow. And then I can start working on the full pages. So I'm excited about that.
Very jealous of you.
Man, I wish I had any artistic skill. I'm literally the hack that people would probably talk about in years. You can't create nothing. You're not talented. I admit I'm not. I can't create shit. I wouldn't even write my own fucking novel or book, actually, because I just don't have the time to just sit down and just be like, this articulate point mattered in this dungeon and I saw this plant. Like, I'm not doing that shit. I told you this, how about you create something and I critique it and you make it better? How about that? That's the genius that I have up here, honestly. Grok, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? We did end up reviewing one of his independent comic books, first issues, actually. Grok Comics, does his own shit, actually, and you guys should go support him. He does his own Grok Comics universe out there. He has trades and everything. He's floppies, constant Kickstarters that get funded. A guy that basically, puts in a lot of effort and work, and he's not drama related or anything. It's just a guy that puts his head in the sand and just gets his stuff done. So you always can respect that, honestly. Jared.
Yeah.
Tom King's #1 fan. God damn, man. How you feeling? Tom King false. Omnibus announced.
The Batman I expected. The Wonder Woman one, that ain't getting announced anytime soon. That run is hot garbage.
Wait. She's gonna get her new 52 run, which is by
I have the new 52 omnibus.
Oh yeah. She's getting it in that compact comic format, I think, right? Or hardcover, I think. Because they announced that
it's hardcover.
Yeah. Good Lord. Why does she look like she's Hawaiian on that cover? I don't know.
It depends
she's-
on colorist.
Good God. So how you been doing, man? What's going on with you, dude?
Been doing pretty well, just slowly going crazy because this is the year that Wonder Woman became my favorite comic book superhero. And then Tom King just screws the pooch really bad, as he's wont to do. But besides that, I've just been really enjoying Green Lantern. Like, Jeremy Adams can do no wrong.
It's really good. It's
fantastic.
It is
Very good.
unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yep.
that Aquaman detective, I'm not exactly that like in on, because I'm like, can we stop trying to add crap to Batman's origin?
Oh,
Like, oh no, you're sleeping with Joe Chill's kid. Who cares?
Nobody.
Yeah, no, but exactly. No one cares. But I will say, Absolute Wonder Woman though is superb.
Yeah, I've read the first 2 issues. Me and Warren are going to review
the
issue
Absolute
3
DC
this
universe
week. Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
We haven't
Very
read.
much.
I haven't gone through Absolute Superman yet, but me and Warren, we have read the first 2 issues of Absolute Wonder Woman. The third one will be on Friday. We finished Absolute Batman, the first 5 issues. Absolute Batman number 6 drops today. Jeremy Adams Green Lantern run. I got to read the second trade. I bought the second trade. I'm pretty sure it's over here somewhere. But the first one is so good. Oh my God! Like God,
Biggest surprise.
One of the few things I'm stay current on is
Like I
Adam's
love how
Green
they say
Lantern.
must buy TV. Must buy TV. Holy shit! Must watch TV. This is must buy comic book. I must have this in my hands right now. But Labs comic fan, he is working to death. Honestly, his body's not really physically there, as you guys can see right now. This is a figment of our imagination. It's like when the end
I'm
of
just
that
turning whiter and
I'm
whiter. As I'm just turning like I'm gonna be translucent soon. Just like patches of color all over the place.
It's like when Hal was imagining, or he made a construct of Kilowog at the end of that first Green Lantern trade.
Yeah.
You're just a construct.
I am.
You're not
I'm
actually there.
I'm actually over there. No, I'm doing all right, man. Just it's coming up into that government time of auditing, man, and it kills you. It just kills you. But hey, it pays you a fuck ton of money, but
we can see that from your shelves and your toys on your desk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
why do you have so many toys? You're a 40-year-old man. That's the internet right there.
I also have a mohawk. Look at nothing about me is no. I don't care.
Oh, God.
If that's one thing that I had to do was like care about what other people thought, dude. I just no.
Good Lord, man. Like that, for some reason that's an insult now. People legitimately think saying what they think your age is automatically undermines your point for some reason. It's like you're a 40-year-old man talking about comic books. Yeah, and what? I don't know what that's supposed to mean, though. Usually insults mean something. It's like you're insulting someone's age for having a hobby. I don't even know what the fuck
is a weird one with the whole kids thing, because if Black Label Bat Penis wasn't written for me, then I don't know what is.
Batwang,
Batwang. God damn. I'll still never get over the whole Batman and Robin fucking bat ass moment that they panned on when he put his suit on in that movie. The bat ass was fat though. You can't lie though. It was really jiggly. Just saying. George Clooney, good job there.
So anyway, Jared, nice meeting you, man. Nice
you too, man.
Yep.
Oh, well, I didn't say you could meet Jared. I keep Jared to myself, locked away in a cage somewhere.
I like the
help me.
Use the trident.
Oh God. Well, speaking of Jeremy Adams, because Jared did bring that up, not to be a topic, obviously, but want to have a general discussion about this. Jeremy Adams signed an exclusive contract with DC to make more books for them, along with Tom Taylor. Actually, crap.
Wait, and that sends on a downer, man.
I'm just saying they need to do this more. Like, fuck, DC has been locking down some good talent, but Marvel, no offense,
it's because Marvel doesn't pay anyone anything.
They don't. Oh God, man!
That's very true.
Yeah, Marvel's cheap as hell.
They have Jonathan Hickman connected to Weekend at Bernie's machines, and he's just all over the place.
Jed McKay. Yeah, Jonathan Hickman
guy that
and Jed McKay and a few other people they have are just writing everything. That's the problem with Marvel is they have one guy, but he's writing everything. I still firmly disagree that someone can write 5 books and then all that shit cook. There's no way. Your brain has to be fried.
I
There's
remember
no
that
way.
one time Bendis was doing like 9 of them back.
Yeah.
There you go.
And look what happened to Bendis. He crashed out. At some point, his brain crashed.
If you look at Bendis's face in like 2001 and then go to Bendis's face in 2006, it's fucking hilarious.
That explains his crappy Superman run. He was like, I'm done.
He's like, oh, geez.
What was that famous quote from like Jack Kirby or someone? Comic books will break your heart, kid. Something like that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Jeez. Takes it of age so well. That one is aged like fine wine, actually. But no, congrats, Jeremy Adams, for getting your exclusive content with DC. You definitely earned it with your Green Lantern run. I did buy the Aquaman series.
More high profile stuff now. Which
if
anyone deserves it, it's that guy right there.
Yeah.
Like, they announced Matt Fraction for Batman. I'm like, well, you have a guy who's writing Green Lantern right now really, really well. And you decided, I'll take the guy that wrote one good Hawkeye thing that I don't even care about, personally.
Do you want Jeremy Adams to write everything, though?
No, I don't. But if you seize him off of one major book, right, and put him on the book that he's going to kick the shit out of it. He's been kicking the shit out of Green Lantern.
And Aquaman.
That's hard. That's hard to do. Yeah, and Aquaman. That's hard to do. It's not everybody that writes the Green Lantern does, keeps your
it's not exactly transferable. Yeah, just because he writes Green Lantern good.
God.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I think is like, just because he writes Green Lantern good doesn't mean he can't write fucking, anybody else the same level. Yeah, I understand that. Like, freaking Marvel has like 5 guys on everything. It's like, and then they don't even pay them good. Imagine that, writing on like 5 characters and you're not even making like $80K a year to live off that. That's ridiculous. So why are you working there? If you're writing 5 characters at once and you can't live off that, that's fucking stupid.
Marvel was never the same after the Image rebellion. After the Image guys left, Marvel never wanted to create superstars anymore. They didn't want any more rock stars. They wanted people who were going to stay with them. And they never really recovered from that as a business. That one really, really hurt them on a deep level because they changed the entire way they hire after that.
Well, first, if you got to remember, when they first left, they tried to match paying a shit ton of money, and then it fucked them. And then the comic book market crashed, and they were like, oh, I got a great idea. We're going to sell all our IPs. Because,
all our good IPs.
No, we'll never think to make movies with them.
Yeah, exactly. And then all we got out of it was Rob Liefeld drawing Captain America. That's not going to turn out horribly.
Well, they screwed over Ed Brubaker because I know a lot of you guys know what Captain America Winter Soldier is. To the people that watch that aren't comic related, he literally made the story where Bucky came back and the whole Winter Soldier thing, and Marvel screwed that guy over so hard. All they gave him was essentially $1,000. And
he said he made more from the royalties from his cameo in the Winter Soldier.
I remember that.
And the character. It's not like he created this iteration of Bucky and invented the storyline. That's literally one of the best Marvel movies.
And they did it for Mark Miller too. Mark Miller didn't get a big paycheck for Civil War. It's like, what the fuck?
So many creators now. When they went dunking on Marvel, so many creators were like, DC doesn't have this problem. They actually pay you stuff.
They give you royalties? I heard the Marvel royalties are basically cents on the dollar.
EVS was able to buy a car from the royalties he got from the Snyder Cut.
Well, hold on. Are you saying he didn't buy more food? Because he's fat as... I'm joking. To be fair, he set me up with that one. That was a layup, and I dunked it. Just pointing out there, that was a dunk.
I mean, it does show you, though, where when you looked at like all the creators that DC when they announced the absolute stuff, we were like, okay, let's see if it happens. But as soon as creator teams came on, and you're like holy shit, there's like they have a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
And then you look over on the Marvel side, and you're just it's like
right. We're here.
Right.
Yeah,
and
Gail
then
Simone, Jed McKay, Jonathan Hickman, all fucking crashing out. Brian Hill, doesn't he write Ultimate Black Panther? Yeah, we're really circling the drain here.
That's the thing, though. Like, are you reading it enough to know who is writing it? I know Hickman's writing Ultimate Spider-Man.
I
know that's happening.
Is he like their only A-lister right now? Is Jonathan Hickman? I think, right?
Maybe
Greg Capullo. They got Capullo on Wolverine.
He is on Wolverine. Yeah.
That's being written by Hickman, though, right?
Chip Zdarsky
writing it.
I think so.
Chip Zdarsky, a Canadian, is going to be on a new Captain America ongoing series. That's crazy. A Canadian is going to write Captain America. That's crazy. That's wild.
Dude, maybe he'll bring the Captain of Zur-En-Arr, and everything will just come together.
We'll have Captain Failsafe.
Yes, Captain Failsafe. My God.
It'll be an Iron Man suit it'll be the Iron Man suit from when Iron Man made a suit that wanted to sleep with him.
Can we get Captain Maple Leaf? Why not Captain Maple Leaf or Captain Maple Syrup? Can we get that?
That's an actual character, by the way.
Jesus Christ. Miss Sparkles, how are you doing? Did you miss me? Every lady misses me. That's just what it is, honestly. I'm a Riz Master for a reason. But yeah, back to what Jared had brought up earlier with Winter Soldier. Guys, keep in mind that movie and Civil War are considered like what, top 5, top 10
some of the best Marvel movies ever.
And they didn't even pay the people that wrote the stories. I know the highest person they paid
them, but not that much.
The only highest person they paid was Jim Starlin, the guy who made Thanos. They paid him like $5,000. But these movies made billions of dollars. Like, what the fuck? That's chump change. Fucking hell, man. So they're only going to give you a max of like what, $1,000 to $5,000 if the movie makes like millions of dollars. And people are going to ask, like, so if you sign a contract and you pay them for work for hire and that's it. The reason why I've always said this, the reason why you pay them more money if you use their work is because that gives them the incentive to come back and write more shit for you.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But
if you don't pay them and you treat them like shit. Yeah, like you said.
The problem is Marvel's operating under this. Oh, we're Marvel. You should be happy that we're giving you the privilege to draw Spider-Man.
You should be happy you worked for Prestige.
But you're not wrong. That's the thing. Especially after getting, bought out by a massive conglomerate. They're like, we have this giant background money.
Cryptic, what's up, man?
But you're not gonna get any of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna intellectually grapple your IPs. I don't want to get you kicked off of here.
They didn't even get health care.
And they're just gonna, we'll take it, we'll use it, even if you create it. It's
you guys know the story about the X-Men logo?
To the M.
That iconic X-Men logo that they've used literally forever. I heard there was a story where they paid that guy $250 to just have it, and they've never really ever compensated him.
Here's a story
something
for
like
MSK.
that.
This one you're not gonna believe. So there was a writer named Zoe Thorogood. So Marvel contacted her and had her do a character sketch. A sketch.
Okay.
They paid her for it. They then without telling her, used that for a cover and didn't pay her.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
And they wonder why the creators don't want to make stuff for them, because people are going to be like, well, they paid them, so what's the problem? The other issue with that is if the creators feel like you're using their ideas to make all this money and you don't basically kind of think of them or treat them in a good way, they don't want to work for you anymore. They'll just go to anybody else. Or as with Jason Aaron did recently, he's just going to start doing his own shit with Bug Wars at Image Comics now to have his own shit.
Even with that in the movies, sometimes they don't even credit them in the credits, like special thanks.
Did they do it for Donny Cates when they had Null in Venom 3? Did they do that?
He was like, he didn't even know they were using
Null.
Null.
He said, I don't even know they're using Null. They didn't give me money.
He was like, oh, they're using it? Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. News to me.
And that was like one of their actual events that people were like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, we're just not. We're just.
Yeah, we'll just not give you any money.
Twisting it in the ass.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Okay. They used Spider-Man 2099 for Across the Spider-Verse. Brian Hill. Yeah. Brian Hill's his name, right?
I think.
Literally just on his deathbed, dying. Can I get some money, please? God, I feel so bad.
Lord knows Peter David.
Peter David, sorry. God, good Lord. Peter David, my bad. Literally is just having to do a Kickstarter, GoFundMe for all of his bills. Now, because the problem with that is like comics just don't pay enough. I would always tell people, just get another job, write comics on the side. There's no way that's going to sustain a lifestyle nowadays.
You got to remember. Oh, go ahead, Warren. Good.
Oh, as I was saying, you get into a really weird legal precedence when you're talking about they own Spider-Man. Now you create something new for Spider-Man. It is your created character, but at the same time, it's their IP. So it's really plus too. It's like if they say we want you to design this new character, here's $500, and you don't read the contract and it says this is all you're going to get, and you agree to do it, then you really can't expect
that. I understand, but it's like, but that creates such a big problem where that person he feels like he did all of that for you, feels like now they don't really get thoroughly compensated. Now I understand contracts up front, work for hire, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But
it also, you're forgetting one massive thing though, dude. This might be their dream. When you're in your dream of what you've wanted to do for so long, is it as easy as going, okay, I need to work at the supermarket and also write comics, which is not an easy thing to do.
That's true.
If it was, a lot of us who love comics and have we have brash opinions could be like, hey, I could do this. When I know that I can't.
Warren doing that?
That's why I have high blood pressure and I'm on blood medications right now.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's
well, there is something to like if Marvel came to me and said, okay, hey, we want you to do a Spider-Man one shot, and we're going to pay you this whatever, even if it's bad pay. I still think, I would still do it because during that time period, I have like one of the bigger comic companies advertising my name. And then when I get done with that run, I can build an audience off of it and then go do something on Kickstarter or for Image with that nice thing on my resume. But that doesn't justify Marvel not paying their people, especially if you want to talk about, if you want a good product, you have to pay the right people.
Well, because you want to retain that talent. If you like what that person did, why would you not want to retain them?
Yeah, you should be cutting everyone a piece of that pie instead of trying to keep it all on one end.
Like I understand from a business point of view, if they already paid you up front, I'm not saying they don't pay people, but to be fair, we've heard stories where people don't even get paid on time. But if we're going off this mindset where they do pay you for your work, which is not bad, that's why they don't have any talent, because all the things that they've made so many billions of dollars off of, the person that created it, because without the creator, you don't have that. Like like Kevin Feige, that motherfucker, because Rob Liefeld talked about it. He's like, man, I made Deadpool and with the other guy, and it feels like he just treated me like shit. Like, they don't really feel like that guy is the person that made the character that they're using to make all this money off of. And luckily for comic book creators right now, or writers, let's be honest, movies haven't been making a whole lot of money. This was back when they were making a lot of money. Right now, these movies aren't doing that well. So I imagine that doesn't hurt that bad, because Venom 3 only made like what, 430 at the box office, like $430 million. That's a lot. So I imagine he wasn't that mad. But imagine if Venom 3 in the market back then we were in 2017, 2018 made $1 billion. I'm pretty sure he'd be very mad about that. Donny Cates, where they didn't even tell him he was going to use his character.
I mean, I'd be pissed. $430 million, regardless, a percentage of that is not anything to scoff at, man. Like, that's still.
I'm not saying I don't know if they didn't pay him, because they could have just said anything.
If he didn't know that his character was being used, I'm pretty sure he didn't get paid.
I think he even said, I'm pretty sure either he or Stegman said, yeah, they didn't pay us for this.
Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. Son of a bitch is bad. Holy shit, dude. Oh, geez, Marvel.
That is nuts, though.
You wonder why people are leaving Marvel in such droves, and why DC has guys like Sam Payer who are superb creators, and they're like, no, we're going to go to DC. They actually pay us.
Yeah, like, hey, DC has its fair share of issues, but Marvel recently, oh my God, they have just been taking L after L after L. They knew that doing the DC Compact Comics was a great idea because they saw the numbers, and then they did their own version of it, which is kind of like the DC's finest ones, where it's the popular character at a popular story arc, but they're charging $15 when DC's is charging $10. DC's are like what, top 10 bestsellers every month now at this point for all the reprinted shit they're doing. $10. Marvel's like, you know what? Fucking hell. DC, I know what you did good there. $15 for ours. What the fuck? Yeah. The reason why it's 10 is because it's supposed to be a cheap price point you can get into. So, like, if one of your guys' kids, or if you guys have kids, whatever, like,
it's to grab, make
like, I got this.
I have it too. That's amazing. Yeah.
I love it.
And it's like, because not everybody is gonna be able to go out and get these. Like, how you just got the super. Not everybody's gonna be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and I have all 10 of those, and you know how long that took me? You know how many freaking
paychecks
I had to talk to?
You know how many times did you had to talk to your wife to get those?
Gosh. Zero.
I honestly think that DC is a much more of a desperate place than Marvel is when it comes to comic books, movies. Warner Brothers, who's backing them, is in a desperate place. Disney still has a few billion to fuck up before they start really reshaping everything like DC did. And I think that's why we're seeing such radical changes at DC, good changes, It is because they're like kind of the point where it's like, guys, we're about ready to shut down. We need
let's be honest here with DC.
Yeah.
They went and did All In because Dawn of DC just didn't really do anything.
It's very clear if you watch
Mm-hmm.
their little hype up video for All In.
I did see that.
They're basically saying buy our comics or we're gonna get shut. This is exactly like before the New 52 happened, where they were like, improve your sales or you're done.
No, Scott Snyder, he brought it up on Twitter. He was like, if you guys keep buying the books, we'll keep being employed.
I'm like, way to instill confidence, Scotty.
Yeah. But they literally went all in because, let's be honest here, outside of like Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern run and a few other runs here or there, they didn't do anything. They didn't have a Justice League title. That's crazy. That's actually insane. They didn't have a Justice League title.
See, here's the stupidity of that. So they shut down the Justice League and then decide, okay, you know what, we're going to elevate the Titans. Okay, that's good for like a short thing. The problem is the Titans didn't fight anything Justice League, because when you fight Justice League...
that's what I've been saying to MSK. I've literally said the same thing.
Think of a Justice League story, you think of like they're fighting gods, like Darkseid, or even Perpetua. But they're just fighting Titans villains.
Beast World.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I said, like, whenever they tried to lift them up, I said, what happens if Darkseid attacks? Do you think that is the team that would take them on in perception? No. I would want to see it just because that sounds pretty like fun to do, but that's not the team that I think
that team is not fighting Darkseid.
What you do is you make Beast World and you fuck that up because it's stupid. That's what you do because it's stupid.
Well, remember DC, their initiative they had during that thing, Dawn of DC, that was doing well. Literally, then they're like, okay, all storylines stop. Okay, we're doing Night Terrors now, and I'm like, I was reading Green Lantern.
Oh,
I was having fun. What do you mean?
I will say that Green Lantern Night Terror book was fucking pretty good. But not to be fair, that's because Jeremy Adams did write
it. No,
the
one
Night Terror was good.
The one Night Terror was good. The other,
I like Jeremy Adams
2 and 3 of them.
Well, Night Terrors again, it ruined the momentum of the book. People were coming back, and people were like, "Oh, this is really good." Then all of a sudden, it's like all the storylines that you're enjoying stop, and I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Dude, I'm telling you, this is you guys MSK. This is literally the same shit I said to him. We talked about this, and there was someone in the chat was like, "Hey, Night Terrors was good." I was like, "The fuck it was." I don't want to see the Joker go to a 9-to-5 job for 3 issues.
Why do I care about that? That's a nightmare
for the Joker is doing a 9-to-5. That's crazy.
And especially when the event in itself is actually only 4 issues, but yet every character has 3 tie-ins. So there's like 70 books.
Bro, I remember, so when I opened up the little advertisement that shows how many tie-ins they're in, I'm like, good God.
Yeah.
So every book, just put every book.
Yes.
They literally had a map that went like
and
this.
They had
all
3,
the books.
like some of them had 4, and there was 3 per character. It was like when you go to school and you get one of those book ordering catalogs. Oh, everything.
Like everything in Black, where they're like, okay, so a random character, Devil Dinosaur, that they mention Null. Okay, they have a tie-in issue.
It's crazy, man.
I'm also going to point out for All In, they finally did something that fans have been asking them to do for like forever, which is stop rebooting their content. Because for most of their initiatives that were rebooted after like Crisis and 52, they kept getting reboots. And the fans were like, please stop rebooting.
They got around that because technically they did do a reboot. That's what the Absolute Universe technically is, because it's designed to give you like a stepping in point, but they're not doing the reboot because, well, let me put it this way. I'm convinced that if DC, when they did the New 52, had that as a separate, like essentially Ultimate DC universe, it wouldn't have been as like controversial, if you will, if it did, because you could have that stuff and you can have all the side content. It's not like Marvel didn't just have an original Ultimate Universe at this point.
That they collapsed themselves and brought
back. They blew up themselves. You could say they gave their Ultimate Universe an ultimatum.
Well, to be fair, Marvel's Ultimate Universe, they gave out for ultimatum many years. I'll say that. No, it's that thing where how in the that blew my mind. It's like, so you knew that fans didn't like you rebooting, yet they fucking finally were like, we're not going to reboot this time around. Oh, well, thank you for not doing it in 2024.
I'm surprised that they didn't reboot after Dark Crisis. That shit was fucking wipe my ass. Like, go away. Like, that was awful. That I did not like that at all.
I know a cliffhanger from that event. Wasn't Black Adam in that?
Yeah, he was.
And he gave them like all their power. I remember there was an event
he gave them powers, and they were all lit up.
Imagine Batman with Black Adam's power. That's pretty cool.
There was cool parts in the book, right? There was cool parts in the it took too long, number one, and the ending of it was just. It was like they did that whole book. Kill the Justice. The Justice League is dead.
Oh,
they're
really?
Fucking dead. Black cover. You remember that shit, dude? It's like they're dead. And then they just happened to take like things from like Kingdom Come. Like Superman was on a farm just hanging out. He knows. Oh, I know this isn't a real world. I just want to be here. Like it was the dumbest explanations for things. And then like the only cool thing that happened from it is when Green Arrow disappeared. That Green Arrow all in. I thought that was actually Dawn of Green Arrow, whatever the fuck you call it. I thought that was actually cool. And then they took Williamson off the book, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, sure. But yeah, I'm surprised they did not reboot after Dark Crisis because that shit was.
Didn't they bring in some sort of like omniverse? They're like every single universe
everything
is here.
Is canon, and I'm like, okay, so wait a second. If everything is canon, which origin for Wonder Woman is canon? Are you talking about
recently coming up?
Is she clay? Is she bones?
Oh no,
just someone today. Bone her.
Before we go with the hot takes, before we go, this was actually announced today. I'm glad you and Jared brought that up. Oh my god, because they're talking about continuity all the time. DC, it's like so they revealed in Dark Crisis that everything is. These are all here. Wait a minute. You just said that was rebooted years ago, but fuck it. Doesn't matter about consistency. Fuck that, right? Comics and consistency. Yeah, pick one. Obviously, this just
who the hell needs any of that shit?
Who needs consistency?
I get from a practical perspective what rebooting comes from because for some people, the massive if you try and tell someone tells me, okay, Jared, I want to start Batman. And I'm like, okay, where do I start on this? Where's a good jumping on point?
Tom King's Run.
But partly it's on DC to provide good jumping on points for the stuff. You don't have to reboot to have a good jumping on point where anyone can hop on. You just have to put in the effort.
That's too hard.
You're 100%.
Yeah, correct. That's what they're doing with their finest lines. You can have jumping on points at popular characters' favorite arcs, which is fine.
That's the way you do. That's the way you do it, right?
Yeah.
I've got a question for the panel.
Yes.
What would be the MSK jumping on point?
Episode 1. Everything's in order.
I think first you would have to go to a novelty store to find where that exact barcode of the blow-up wife is. Then you would have to hunt down.
God damn it. This is how I know you're new 52 MSK and not OG Canon MSK. OG Canon MSK asks him where the fuck his bed is.
Well, I just never thought he had a bed. I thought he like hung himself upside down in the closet.
Wait, so you're telling me he's the edgy edgelord MSK?
No.
And then you got and then slightly like if you're like past New 52, but
where's the Rebirth MSK?
Yeah, Rebirth MSK is like, why the fuck do you never hang that TV up on the wall?
That's my podcast life. Essentially, I had a mainline continuity. I rebooted it after Crisis. Then I went to New 52. I wanted to start over.
So now we need Dawn of DC. Dawn of MSK. There you go.
Yeah, Dawn of MSK.
I went fuck New 52.
Dawn of MSK right here.
Yeah, because the podcast
best
was called,
selling run of all time.
It was called like Real Takedown. Then it was Nightwing Podcast. Then it was fucking hell. He was the Iron Man one, and now we're at this one. So we have 4. Yep, Crisis, New 52, Rebirth, and now we're at Dawn. And I'm all in now on this one. I'm all in.
Crisis. Are we going to have a final Crisis?
No, we're all in. If I don't have this, I have nothing.
This is MSK.
I'm all in.
Absolute MSK.
What did I do?
Him, he's like Jack, like absolute Batman.
He's gonna make a new MSK logo. It's just gonna look like a big fucking waffle.
I just want to see the origin story of the Chris Tucker dad ship. I just want to.
Hey, MSK, man.
Sisters. Exactly. You got to find the Saska Sisters meme post of MSK earlier. That's the like today realization of that. The origin of it is when Chris Tucker fathered him, some 30 odd years ago.
I'm having a kid, man. What are you going to name him? Top G Riz Master. Is that his name? No, that's what he does.
Chris Tucker would have absolutely
what does that even mean?
That.
Oh god. Well, because you and Jared brought up the continuities for DC. So apparently, since Mark Wade, Mark Wade said his things to Mark Miller, and after what's crazy, what I found out DC is after Mark Wade said a bunch of progressive, dumb liberal shit to Mark Miller on Facebook, he started getting a whole bunch of more work. Fucking hell, fuck me, right? No coincidences, right?
Well,
no coincidences.
When that is the quality of his books are gonna decline because
he said he can't write good superheroes anymore. The quality of his work is gonna decline. So DC, they just gave him this. Look, right? This is weird. Look at what they're giving him. I shit you not. DC Comics announces new history of the DC universe, a 4-issue series launching this June.
They're trying to establish what the canon is of what happened.
By Mark Wade.
You know what the difference between Mark Wade and Mark Millar is?
What?
One is successful.
Millions upon millions of dollars in a successful independent career where a studio actually bought his content.
That's
and
true.
Somebody else outside of we call it mainstream comics, but it's like that big. Someone outside of mainstream comics actually gave a shit about something Mark Millar did, whereas Mark Wade is just mainstream comics is EVS.
The book writer, the book is in my asshole. I'm joking.
Here's the problem with Mark Wade. It's a very simple word. I'll sing it to you. Jealousy. That's all it is.
Rachel Zegler or something. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. The book writer is Mark Wade, retelling of DC's history, and will feature a rotating cast of artists with Jerry Ordway and Todd Nowak working on the premiere issue. Like, some of this art doesn't look that bad. This looks really good. That looks fine. That looks really great right there. That looks
Have you
awesome.
seen the Dan Mora cover that has Wonder Woman on it?
So beautiful. This looks great. God, man. I don't know. Yeah. Is this the question? Like, is this a retcon? The retelling? We already know Batman's getting a huge makeover, bringing Alfred back to life, de-aging him, but nobody else in the Bat family. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Who said they're bringing Alfred back?
What? They're going to
They should bring Alfred back, but I'm like, who said they're doing that?
Bruce being happy? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
You knew here first time.
There should be a clone, like a younger version of him.
Batman's Clone Saga. There you go.
Clone Saga. The Clone Saga.
Hey,
holy shit.
And then you find out the clone was
happy,
Bruce,
not Peter Parker.
And then you find out the clone was Batman the entire time, and the Batman that we've been reading was a clone the whole time.
The M. Night Shyamalan twist we all been waiting for. Batman was the whole time.
And then people reject it, and then it's like, oh no, Absolute Batman's actually the real Batman.
That's what they did for that Suicide Squad game, remember? Oh, sorry guys. This was a clone. That Batman doesn't count. Like, what is wrong with you guys?
Oh, fuck this. Where's my... I need to bring another camera out. I was going to say, you brought up Jerry Ordway, and it reminded me of my fun new things that I got today.
Oh, what'd you get?
I've been picking up some shit this week. I delved deep into the...
You want to go deep?
I went deep into the compendiums. I got all of the main ones, the big ones that were super cheap on Amazon.
Did you get the Tim Drake one?
I got Lobo, Nightwing, Tim Drake, and Kyle Rayner. I got all that shit. I even convinced somebody to get Tim.
You sound kind of off when you're talking.
I got the Lobo one. It's pretty dope.
One was like, I was like, that one's gonna probably go first because I don't think that one doesn't have a big of a print run, and it's.
I should probably get that one.
Yeah,
you know what's so funny?
This is the one you want, dude. There's so shit in this.
Yeah, dude. Bisley.
The part in the book
I
missed
basically
he can't
Bisley
exist in
art.
hell or heaven. They don't either want him, so they just kick him out. And they make him immortal.
I still read the paramilitary Christmas special every year to my children.
Really?
Oh yeah, I love the Punisher Christmas specials as well. That's another one you should add.
That's fantastic.
All of them, those are good. But Jerry Ordway, I got this in the mail today. I was super excited that to cut like the Kyle Rayner the Kyle Rayner compendium is nice, but it is that. It cuts all of this stuff with Hal Jordan out. It takes you to that point in Emerald Twilight where Jordan becomes Parallax, and then it just Kyle Rayner now, and I'm like, bro, I want all the pieces, I don't want to have to go digging in my floppies to find this shit. So I found this classic 0 hour that's in decent enough condition on Amazon, and then I was like, all right, well, I already had this. Like, if you're gonna read, Kyle Rayner compendium, you got to have this already. I already had that, and then I picked up. Where'd it go? All my shit. Oh, this one, the only one they had was something that was literally like a hospital library or something edition of Final Night, but I grabbed that. Hey. It was I don't think I paid $10 for it, so well worth the while. I added that so I can get through the Kyle Rayner compendium and have all of at least the main parts of why Hal is gone and why Kyle is there. All the bits and pieces.
That's actually pretty sweet.
Dude, the Lobo compendium, I think, went up in price. It was $30 forever. I paid $36 for it.
Yeah.
How much is it now? Anything, dude, look, I think it went up to 40 or 50, but it might
I bought mine at my shop and it was 45.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Normal price on this thing is, where's the MSRP? $60 MSRP.
You mean the MSK? Nope. That's good.
Damn it. This though, if you love you some Nightwing, you love you some Chuck.
I do have that.
This is $31 on Amazon right now. Like, you're not going to get $1, like a quality dollar comparison that's going to outweigh this right here in comics. I don't care what you're buying for $30 for all of this, all of the beginning of Nightwing's kind of solo career. Fuck yeah. That's where that DC has got some of the best bang for your buck compendiums out there now. Also, I mean, like, what else did I can't leave out, I guess, if we're talking Chuck Dixon greatness. I picked up this a while ago as well, but this
that's one of my probably I love that book. I have that one too. That one is so fucking good, man. Yeah,
dude,
just great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely worth it.
I just bought both the compendiums just now. So thank you.
Oh, there you go. Welcome.
Wow.
Such a good price right now. It was funny. I was telling Cannoli Sasquatch because he was talking about on Nightwing, and I was like, and I went to go look. He's like, do you have a link for that? I'm like, oh, damn, it went down even more. It's $31. Who did what truck did these fall off of at Amazon that they can sell them so cheap right now? They're half off. I mean,
that's fantastic. Yeah, this has 41% off. That's freaking phenomenal.
Wait, I forgot. Jared brought this up. If you are someone where you like getting into a character from the very beginning, currently DC was doing the Finest line,
or 47,
doing it at a popular character's, first beginnings or a popular story arc. They actually printed Action Comics number 1 through 20 in this book right here. You can get it for $40.
Yeah,
if you want to see Superman at the very beginning, you can get Action Comics number 1 in this. I know a lot of people want it. You can't get it in a flop because it's too much money. You can get it in this. All first 20 issues. You want to start from the very beginning of Superman. Recommended.
Well, and 500 pages. Kind of to the point of what you were saying though about like where do people start? Like if you're into Nightwing, that's a great that's
a fantastic. Yes, fantastic.
Yeah, and if you like Robin, like where do I start with Robin? Well, Tim Drake is the best Robin. I fuck any other opinion. That can be my hot take if you want it, but Tim Drake is the one that is most. While it is, say, Dick's role to take on if for some reason the mantle were ever to be passed, Tim Drake, I think, is the one that could be Batman as he exists today the most. I think he aligns more.
Can't forget my favorite Teen Titans story of all time is still Judas Contract. They put it in Finest compact format. Oh my god,
that's not bad. That one would be worthwhile.
Damn. God,
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Big Tim Drake right here.
God, man. God, do I hate you.
I like Tim Drake. I mean, I agree with you. I think he's the most fleshed out as Robin, because like when you look at like a lot of because I've read Batman from the beginning up to I think I'm on 1979 right now, so I'm like in the Starlin Aparo mesh pot of shit.
Dude, so, I think Starlin's going to be in town here in a couple weeks.
And when you had like the old Robin, it was just more like it was just Jiminy Jillikers, but
exactly.
It is. It's
Jimmy Jillikers.
One of the funniest, one of the funniest issues of old Batman that I read. It was like, I can't remember the name of it, but he was going up against these giants, right? And he killed them and shit. Because I have on my Batman show, I have a bat kill count because it's like the old Batman. Dude, he hangs
bat kill count. I love that.
It's fantastic. And I also have bad parenting moment count. That's very good. So
that's a good one.
He hangs this giant from his helicopter and parades it around New York City, dude. It's just
Isn't there one where he like flies by someone, just shoots him like it's a fly-by shooting?
Oh, dude, there's one where in that same one with the giant, he's fighting a bunch of pygmies on a train, right? And he is just launching these freaking little people off the train. They're just dying left and right, dude. Just tons of them.
Man, I love Golden
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Right. I do want to show you guys this. If you are fans of Green Arrow, this new Green Arrow omnibus dropped, which was Archer's Quest. I think it's the Kevin Smith run, actually, with Jude Winnick. This dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
That wasn't a bad run. I can't really shit on that as much as Kevin Smith didn't age well. That run on Green Arrow,
Universe. You didn't like his He-Man TV show on Netflix?
Even he didn't like it. Fuck Kevin Smith for even taking that job. But it like that run on Green Arrow was good. There was a lot of care put into that. That was a good story. That was, I mean, even his Daredevil run wasn't bad. Like, I can't shit on the things that he did well in comics. It's just he had a heart attack, and a lot of things changed for him, like EVS.
Yeah. Well, and plus, I think he wanted to play in Hollywood more, and you have to, so he started.
Yeah.
You notice he started becoming a little more vocal about things he never was before. And he loved everything.
He left Jersey and he became a Hollywood douchebag, which is the worst thing he could have done. It being in Jersey, he kept with his roots, and I think he was more himself. When you go to Hollywood, you just become a douchebag.
Okay, before we start going into hot takes, we'll go around the panel.
MSK hot takes, like MSK.
No, not me yet. No, I'm definitely going last because mine is like gonna need some talking. One omnibus you could want for a character and their run. If you could ask to get it.
Dude, I think Marvel I have most of them.
You think you have all of them? All the omnibuses you could ever want?
I don't know if I could say a character. What I would like is an omnibus that I don't have would be a Joe Madureira X-Men omnibus. All of his fucking issues
I was
did
just
art and covers
that.
for.
Dude,
Joe, dude, to this day, my favorite artist. I respect him getting the fuck out of the game when he just knew that he wasn't like he just wasn't cut out for it and he needed to make money, so he went off and became a game developer. I don't respect him abandoning Battle Chasers because that had so much fucking potential. But it just, he realized that I think it just came down to the fact that he realized that, like, one, comics doesn't pay you shit, and being an independent, like, he realized something many artists don't realize is that they kind of need an editor, a boss, a writer. They need somebody up their ass. Otherwise they turn into like certain artists that work in the independent sphere that never make books and eat pie all day. They need somebody who's going to drive them to actually create and put their artwork out so that their fans can enjoy it and they can get paid. Joe realized that wasn't for him. He wasn't going to play. He wasn't in that game, and he moved on. He did something else, and he was pretty successful over at THQ, as far as I can tell. And I appreciate he made a game out of it. The Battle Chasers game is a great turn-based JRPG, and the comic was good. But his X-Men art is bar none. Like, some of the best of that I ever experienced in my time reading it. It was he had this fantastic style that to this day nobody replicates or duplicates. It's very much him. Like a Joe Mad character, especially a woman, when you see him, and they look fantastic. But yeah, that would be something I'd love, dude. I would just take a fucking poster book of his artwork. I don't even need just give me the omnibus with no words and just his pages and shit. Like, it was such a feast for the eyes.
when I remember when Battle Chasers were coming out, it was like a year between 8 and 9, and 9 still debuted #1 in America.
Dude, yeah,
he was a money printing machine when he did artwork, but he didn't have the discipline to do interiors, because I do interior artwork. It takes all of my free time, every bit I have to do pages and make a comic book. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to play video games. There were multiple Wizard interviews where he's all like, "I'd get more done, but I love playing Final Fantasy and just
Of course he did.
No, dude.
But his artwork was like he had the whole comic world talking. Like he was one of the hot premier artists. If he could,
dude, he was the top of the man. He was the top of the heap. There was nobody in his time that he had leapfrogged all of the old big names.
Mm-hmm.
He had leapfrogged Jim Lee. I don't think he would charge as much for a commission as Jim Lee, because he's not an asshole. But he had leapfrogged these guys. He was more in demand and desired. And I appreciate that he went out on top of it, man. He went out as probably the most prominent guy there and said, I'm just not going to keep up. And he got, I think, so popular so fast, it was just too much for him. And he said, I can't do it. I don't even see him showing up at cons. I'm not sure what part of the particular region of the country or world he may reside in today, but shit, dude, I would almost go to a con even out of state just to fucking give him $200 for a backboard sketch. Fuck, dude, he was.
Well, we know this too. The artists and writers going to cons make more money potentially than fucking working for the big two. It's crazy. That's actually insane that you make more money doing shit on your side than actually working
indie
at
artists who charge more than what Marvel pays and get paid too. These are indies.
It's crazy.
You know what's wild?
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld, at least if you went to San Diego, did not charge for backboard sketches. And that does not know what a sketch is. I went to his booth to get Cable and Deadpool's #1 signed at San Diego Comic-Con. He was there doing signings, whatever. He was doing backboard sketches. I waited in line for a Deadpool sketch for 5 hours because he spent over an hour on each sketch of the person in front of me. He sketched it, he inked it. It was almost a whole fucking piece of art. And then he gave it to you for free. Dude, that was old Comic-Con, though. That was Comic-Con 2005. This was a long time ago. The industry was different then. Worth it, though. I still have that piece. I've been offered $500 for that fucking sketch that I have, framed and matted and shit. It's a great sketch. And you don't see the feet. It was a chest kind of half body torso up sketch, so no feet problems. It was where Rob Liefeld excelled: faces, arms, and chests,
and pockets,
except for Captain America.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want an omnibus run, but the one thing that I could say that I want back, that was mine, that I lost in my fire, was my Alex Ross tin plates. That's what I would like back. I had I think 10 of the 12 from Kingdom Come, and they just.
I remember I lost the first comic books I ever got years and years and years ago. My wife got them for me for Christmas a couple of years ago.
That's a good.
It was she knew it was Silver Surfer Warlock Resurrection, drawn and written by Jim Starlin. He's coming to town apparently in the end of April. I might try to go out and get him signed by him. That'd be pretty fucking cool, dude. Jim Star. Oh man, you want to talk great art from back in the day?
Awesome stuff. Yes,
dude. So, his the only guy who ever did outer space even remotely the cosmic shit is close to Kirby, dude.
It's close
as you could fucking possibly get.
Yes. Yep.
That dude, he fucking amazing. So yeah, I want to get that shit signed. I want to do a review of that miniseries eventually, but I've been lazy on my content creation.
Yeah, so you've been lazy like EBS, eating pies and drama streaming for 8 hours. That's why you can't do your comic book content?
Pie, yes.
Sex?
But I haven't been behind a pizza place anytime recently, so no.
Oh, shit.
Good God.
Now, when you were behind the pizza parlor, were you giving a reach around? Because that's what Joker said to Batman he was going to do, you know?
Fuck?
So, yeah,
What are you
I want those
doing?
Alex Ross
No, the
insights
Snyder
back. That's
Cut.
what I would like to have back out of all the stuff that I lost.
Yes.
It was in the Snyder Cut. Joker literally
so.
asked, do you want to get a reach around from Batman? I'm not kidding. I'm not being a weirdo, which is every day. I'm telling the truth. Jared believes me. That's all that matters in life.
No, I don't.
Wow.
Why would I believe you?
Lifeline?
North.
No.
Hey, Serg.
No.
Who's Serg around here?
What is up, Anne?
Nice to meet you if you're new here for the first time. But we're no.
She's not here for you, MSK. That's a woman.
Whoa! Damn! Damn!
Shots fired.
Damn! There's people are so lucky I'm on YouTube now instead of just being only on Rumble where I could say certain words. Guys,
I'm from Rumble, so I have a hard time containing myself more often than not. Anyway.
Oh fucking hell! So I already have all the omnibuses that I want now. Currently, I could get the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb one that has the not Court of Owls, fucking Long Halloween and Dark Victory. I have those books already, but omnibus format, when you read stuff, is just, oh my God, it's just so good. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I'm going to get. I never had Court of Owls in omnibus format. I've always had it in trades, honestly.
Oh, that's just as good. What you know what would be good for you, MSK? Something that you're too young to something that you're too young to know better about would be the amalgam shit. That would be a good omnibus.
Oh, thank you.
I have that.
I bought the first omnibus.
Dude, it's so the amalgam shit is so hard to find. I'm like, fuck, I have the floppies, but fuck, I don't want to get
I even have the floppies that weren't collected.
Oh, Lord,
there it is.
That's the one I need to get. I'm gonna get that.
Jim Lee cover, baby. Jim Lee, John Darklaw.
Yeah, that's the better cover. I didn't like the white cover that they had for the other one, for the
that's racist,
main
MSK.
cover.
Yeah, I know. It's racist, bro.
Wow.
How dare you?
Stop Asian hate, MSK.
Yeah.
Whoa. I went to Panda Express all the time.
Yeah, but you robbed it. That's not good.
Whoa!
Yes, officer, he's right here.
Yeah, but see, he didn't rob them for money or anything. He robbed them just for more orange chicken. He just grabbed a wok of orange chicken and ran out.
Is General So here? Is he here?
Yeah. MSK's like, this motherfucker, this is too salty. Where is General So? I want to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Who has a drum set going off? Someone has some music going off in the back.
Not me.
Savage Dad? Pretty sure it's you.
Maybe. Oh shit! Sorry, I accidentally clicked on something. That was me. Wavelink did a bunch of new stuff with like Elgato's Wavelink did a bunch of new shit. So I was trying to make sure that my sounds worked, and then I hit this thing when I was bringing chat up. I accidentally hit or clicked Pod Awful's new episode that had the Ethan Van Sciver toilet licking thumbnail. It's like, oh shit, no, I don't want that now.
Jesus
Later though, but not now.
Jesus Christ. It's okay. It's fine. So. And the North, nice to have you here. I'm Top G Rizmaster. Miss Sparkles knows that too. WZ knows that.
That's not the case at all.
But I love how I said I went to a Panda Express and Laps immediately went to me essentially robbing it. He's like, well, you robbed it. It's like, well, that's not
sounds legit.
Man, Billy, how many times I told you not to call here and interrupt my kung fu?
What?
Oh, good. All right, before we go, Jared, because he has to dip out, so it'll be just us four for a little bit. We're gonna go over one of his hot takes, actually. Just one of them.
Let's go.
Let's go,
do you
Jared.
want the saltier one?
Just give them both. Just
the saltiest.
Give the salty
All right. Lois Lane is a horrible character. Fight me.
Oof. I don't. I could say this. I'll say this. In the beginning.
No, she's still
in the beginning.
No, hold on. In the beginning,
there was an
definitely
idea
useful to bring out his emotional. But yes, for a long time, a
long time meaning until today. She still is useless.
I mean,
useless or a giant bitch?
Both.
Well, because doesn't she have superpowers now?
Now she has superpowers.
Oh
now,
God,
so that makes
sense.
That's
even worse.
She apparently got from General Zod.
Yeah, I didn't read. I just saw her in a super.
Did she heal before him?
She definitely knelt before Zod and took
That's
the
how she
Zod
got
rod.
the powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the powers come from. I heard about her getting powers recently.
She's always been like the character that really annoys me. And one of the people I talked about this was like, okay, so here's the problem with Lois and really any human love interest of like any of the superpower DC characters. There's very little you can do that doesn't boil down to he saves her. I'm like, there is no stakes here because I know Superman's going to save her. This ain't injustice. So whenever she's in danger, I'm like, what do I care? I know where this ends.
I can see that. I mean, it's kind of a trope that they set up for a long time.
There are some stories where she's done well. I'm not saying like in general. I'm just saying up until yet, me personally, I have yet to read a story where I really go, you know what? I really like Lois.
I would have to.
I can agree. I can agree with that. But for the useless part, I mean, she does have the use to bring out.
She has a use of her mouth. I'll give her that. No,
you know what? I just.
Well, here's the thing. Even on that, I know where you're going.
Don't bring up women in front of MSK. Please.
No, do not. I know exactly where you're coming from. Here's the thing.
We're lucky he's not masturbating.
He's not even required to bring up Superman's humanity because you know why? He was raised human.
No, what I would say is for like what for his like love interests. If you're not gonna go Lana Lang, then
easy Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. That's the thing. Like Lois Lane was never
I get that.
Never. Lois Lane never made it as like even as good, let alone great. A like female love interest kind of sometimes protagonist, but like Batman and Catwoman had such a great vibe, and that worked so well.
That worked 100%.
You could not do you couldn't even really do that with Lois Lane because it wasn't. She was never even created in kind of a way that it would work well other than like, oh, she's the damsel that Superman saves for the first 50 years of his comic book. And here it goes. I mean, it's not even kind of the same as like, and what's annoying is like, well, even Marvel is guilty of this with Peter Parker and Mary Jane. But at some points that at least before Brand New Day, they did interesting things with his relation. Like when you went outside of the superhero and you looked at Peter Parker, him and Mary Jane's relationship could make for interesting story points. And it wasn't always just him saving her. Mm-hmm. It was kind of their interactions with one another, them growing a relationship. It is the single greatest thing Jonathan Hickman did with Ultimate Spider-Man that the retards like Tom Brevoort will never realize why that sells so well is because they made Peter for the first time in 20 years you've seen Peter Parker grow as a character. Making him a father and a husband with Mary Jane and their kids is something. I mean, some of us on the panel here can resonate with that because we are fathers and husbands. But I think even for single people, kids can see that and see like, this is something different. This is something new. But you see like their interactions and like that was the thing. That's what's missing. That is it. Mary Jane always pushed Peter to be a better Peter and a better Spider-Man. I don't know that I can say that Lois ever pushed Superman to be a better Superman and a better
even in her Clark stuff, she was always like jealous or trying to
talking down to him, calling him Smallville. Even this, if you read New
and I agree.
Fantastic series called Superman Wonder Woman where explored that. In fact, it has the best Superman moment, in my opinion, ever. So he goes to meet her family, and this is when her family are the Greek gods. So Apollo speaks some shit. So Clark punches him. Apollo blasts Superman with sunlight. And obviously Superman is supercharged, and then Superman's like, You don't know that much about me, do you? And just threw him into a volcano, and I'm like, yeah, I like this.
I think Lois could have been used better. Like the CW show did a really good job of showing Superman when he's Clark Kent with the kids and the stuff they were dealing with. So I think she could have been, but I agree with you, she hasn't been.
And that's the thing. I even have this. This is the problem I have with Peter Parker, which may be one of the hot takes I take, but it's that they just the females that are there as part of their partners or whatever can be used in such a way that they help the character they help drive the character to do better and be more. And I don't feel like they always use Lois that way. And that's entirely a creative and editorial problem. I don't know that I can blame the character of Lois Lane for that, but I can blame DC editorial for never really bringing a lot of emphasis on that part of their relationship when they could have and they should have. It would have made it better.
They could have.
I wanted to.
But I do agree with you. It feels like they intentionally write her as a bitch, though. A lot.
That's part of why I hate her. That's part of why I hate her.
That's where I was like stopping and I was like, wait a minute. Like, okay.
There's a part where she's hanging out with Wonder Woman, and then she just says, "I don't really like you that much," and I'm like, "Good, Lois, we don't like you either."
I wanted to
I'm like, just go trip into a wood chipper for all I care.
Jesus Christ!
Threw her into the sun.
Allegedly in Minecraft. In Minecraft, we want to throw Lois Lane in the wood chipper.
When Superman threw her into space in Injustice, I was like, yes.
In a comic book. Not real life.
Comic book. We're talking about it's a fictional character.
No, I wanted to tackle on to your point, which is I think for characters like Lois Lane, I had the same opinion that you did. For the longest time, it's like, okay, like, you know how they initially meet, it's kind of like nerdy guy tries to get hot girl. Yeah. Outside of like the first initial brunt of that, where he finally gets her, the girls don't really do anything outside from being what you said, damsel in distress. Like, it's cute when it's like the first movie or first comic book or first run,
same thing
right?
Over and over again. Wonder Woman has the same thing with Steve Trevor. What did they do?
You know, it's know, and
I have sex.
I'll say when they brought in having a child, did you notice how that whole first it was all about Lois is missing work and she needs to get back to work because she's not telling the stories that the butch reporter
she's
Lois
a mom
needs to tell.
Baking pies.
Yeah, like it was like demeaning to her.
Well, even on that, in the Rebirth series that they did called Superman and Lois, they made Superman a coward where there's a tornado hitting Smallville and he just sits on his ass and is like in his family in a storm shelter. I'm like, hey, Superman, you could stop this right now.
Well, he was waiting for Kevin Costner to give him the okay. just leave me in here. It's
because like, you know, I understand there's some like sort of cheese and lovey-dovey shit when you have like, oh, I'm a nerd, I drop my books and I lock eyes with a girl. Yeah, like if you do that literally 100,000 times, fucking hell, man. Like, you know, so no, I actually don't disagree with you at all. I think is there a way to make her out to be like a character that's just not
what I proposed on my show was, how about make her an antagonist? Here's my idea. So, you know how Lois is always searching for the best story? Make it so she doesn't. Unfortunately, this would have to be in a reboot. But make it so she is a journalist constantly trying to expose who Superman is. And he has to deal with, okay, I have to leave to go save people. But how do I do it that doesn't tip her off that I'm Superman?
Okay.
Kind of like they're doing with Absolute, honestly.
Okay, before you go, you have one more. What is your second comic book hot take that you wanted to lay on the boys?
Batman's no kill rule is stupid.
Agreed. 100%. Fuck the Joker.
That the Joker kills because Batman won't kill the Joker. Batman is at least half responsible for those people that kill.
All right.
So all right, no fight words. Let's have a rumble.
It's not that I get it, and I've said it like. But if you kill the villain, and if we're going on the premise that they're dead, where do you go from there? You'd have to. You're asking these people who can't create shit to create more characters.
Then don't have the character commit literal genocide.
You could say that, but I understand because I've also read a lot of the old Batman where he would just walk up to you and shoot you in
any
the face.
Batman movie, he kills people. I got every Batman movie. He kills people savagely.
Technically, they're not dead if they can't have their body function from the waist down.
Subdued them. That's
right.
Come on. I think if he starts killing, he just becomes the Punisher with a better budget. So I like Batman not killing. That was one of my problems with the Snyder movies was that he killed 6 dudes in the first 5 minutes.
So did any movie Batman though.
Yeah, I don't.
Keaton dropped a hand grenade in someone's pants and smiled, and everyone loves him.
That was
okay.
That was great. Don't get me wrong.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I think there's a happy medium. I think that that him killing all the time would be too much Punisher.
Yeah,
but I think that but like with Infinite, you see heroes almost dying more often than you see fucking villains getting axed.
Yeah.
Like I think that in a certain instance where shit has like gone completely off the rails, which has happened with the Joker
like
more than a few times.
Like when he killed Darkseid.
Like when Darkseid died, or like when if Batman would have lost his shit after the shit the Joker either did to Gordon's wife or Barbara Gordon, or Jason, or if he'd have just like walked away and let Gordon cap the motherfucker. That I think that would have been.
I'm surprised there's been no cops that have done that.
I think it's like holding the steadfastness to it. That's what bothers me. Where he's always like, "If I do it once, I'll kill everybody."
And I'm like, then why are you dressing up like a bat?
No, but that actually might be a thing because you gotta factor this in. I don't actually. I never disagree when he said that though. When you do something, you do actually keep doing it though. No, it can be for anything. When people literally smoke weed, they literally start smoking other shit.
When MSK beats off on camera, he doesn't stop.
No. Oh my god.
Listen, if all of a sudden he starts killing everyone because he killed one person, maybe he shouldn't be in a situation.
That's why you shouldn't kill though.
Literally,
no, I don't know about that. I don't think like if you take out a person who has like heinously killed the population of your city 4 times over,
go kill.
You're not gonna go and hold them to the same directive as like say Penguin.
How do we know?
Because dude, like you know, like if you feel the same way about
everyone.
Do you feel the same way about a child murderer as you do a bank robber?
No.
Okay, there you go. There's your answer.
No, I'm just saying, like, he personally says that he can't do it because he feels like he'll do it more. I mean, what else can we say? I mean, it's nothing more.
No, but he puts that shit on everybody, though. He does it to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. He should paralyze the Joker. Like, he's just paralyze him.
You're telling me throwing batarangs into criminals' necks, that's not killing them?
They're not dead, Jared.
They're just bleeding a lot.
Or ramming them with the Batmobile at top speed.
They're not dead, Jared. They're just off
sleeping.
The people that got run over by that absolute dump truck, they weren't alive.
They weren't alive.
They were definitely not alive.
About when that dude is on Absolute Batman, he just flashes and spikes come out of his back.
After he already cut his arm off.
Yeah, I know. That dude is definitely dead.
So I want to tackle Jared's thing. So I don't necessarily always disagree with Batman killing. My problem is not just Batman. Gotham itself. Okay, so if Batman puts Joker away, shouldn't you expect your judicial system to offer him like an electric chair?
How does he not have the death penalty?
I think it's a Gotham thing. If Batman is putting them in jail, which is what he wants to do,
he knows they're going to break out, though. MSK. He knows eventually the
Joker's that's a judicial system, though.
So
he seriously believes every time he says it that you could be rehabbed, you can be helped. That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, drop that and say, I got an idea. Hey, Clark, don't you have a phantom zone that no one can that supposedly no one
exactly
right, just throw him in there.
But not even just that. Like, aren't there like 3 fucking Jokers now? Anyways, like, kill at least one of them. Fuck.
It's not exactly canon. Technically.
Jason killed one, and he's like, "Okay, that's good. All right, there you go."
Yeah. Didn't the other one get killed by the other Joker?
Yeah, and the other one got killed.
Which one is the one that had the Clayface baby? That's the one I was.
That's what I'm telling you, dude. Whenever they took John's off, like when they were like, "Hey, dude, you're done. Doomsday clock's taking too long," he was like, "Ha ha ha. We'll see what 3 Jokers story I tell now." That couldn't have been the plan. That could not have been.
There's no way there was a plan. Particularly if it's set up. I love how they try to make us think, well, could it be canon? I mean, you literally told us in Darkseid War that there were 3 Jokers.
Can we just kill the one that got pregnant at least?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I love
or kill the Joker's daughter or any of them.
What's so funny is he's like, well, you actually found out who it was. I knew the Joker's name 3 minutes after I had an encounter with him.
You did. Sure you did. I knew you were going to do that.
Like, what is happening? He totally
had contingency plan.
He's like, you take me off of Rebirth. Screw you people. I'm ruining your books.
I'm ruining everything. Yeah.
This is what happens when you give the authors of Batman prep time.
Oh my god.
This illustrates a big problem with an
the
old
door to
IP.
the DC
Though.
office, flips in the bird, and says, "Later."
See, I will say my biggest issue, because that's why Gotham is this terrible place.
Yeah.
Like, you could put the Joker in jail and they won't give him the death penalty. Literally, just give him the death penalty. He's dead. He's gone. But they will never do it.
They just put him back on the street like Chicago.
They did it in the Brian Azzarello story. They knew that guy's fucking mentally deranged.
Jason brings up that exact same point under the Red Hood. He says, "Yeah, you could lock him up. No, he's good. Just gonna get out." Bruce, I'm just saying, just kill him. I'm not saying Harvey or Pamela or Dan. Just him.
Just him.
Just that
because
guy.
of everything he's done to me, to Barbara, to you. Murder.
Yeah, you don't even have to.
I
mean, if you want to take care of Poison Ivy, just give her to fucking Monsanto. They can handle her.
No, you got to give dick to Poison Ivy. The fuck?
Right.
You would. I wouldn't.
I'm just saying, like, I got 5 strokes.
Like,
I got 5 strokes. I know how to make women have orgasms. It's easy.
You sound like you've had 5 strokes.
Okay, Jared, thanks for your hot takes. Jared's just trying to burn everything down to the ground before he leaves.
It's a good start. Definitely some good hot takes there.
Like, I understand why he doesn't kill though. I do. I
get why he doesn't kill everyone. I'm saying in the case of the Joker, I think you can make an exception to that rule. It's like
or like Victor Zsads or something. You know what I mean? Like,
when he kills Darkseid, he goes, "I've made a rule against killing, but for you, I'm going to make a once in a lifetime exception."
Technically, Darkseid's an alien. He's not really killing a human at that point.
He shot him with a god-killing gun.
Yeah. Yes.
An alien.
He said it was a god-killing gun.
Yeah. With a time-traveling racer bullet.
And then Batman was sent back in time where he started his own bat cult and inadvertently led to death metal.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm like,
what is this continuity?
It illustrates one of the issues. It illustrates one of the issues with having 100-year-old IPs. Is that eventually it just stops making sense.
You just start circling the drain for anything.
Like if you shot Ted Bundy in a grocery store, you're probably not even going to spend a day in jail. You know, it's not like he could choke Joker right in front of the police station, and they'll probably just give him a ticket for littering. Like,
you know
at that point,
that's how moronic though some of the comics are. Imagine if Batman did kill someone, they would be outraged. People would be outraged.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens.
In Hush, Gordon goes, "If you kill him, I will hunt you down." I'm like, he shot and possibly raped your daughter.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Great.
He definitely graped her.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I'm like, excuse me.
And the Joker didn't grape Barbara when he shot her.
Yeah.
You know, allegedly in Minecraft.
He put you through like the little thing because he wanted to drive you crazy. Yeah. He killed my sidekick with a crowbar and a bomb.
Oh, come on, Jared. He didn't really kill him. He just permanently put him to sleep.
Of course.
God, was that comic weird where he's just in Saudi Arabia? Holy shit.
Where he's the ambassador to Saudi Arabia and he has diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
When he's
my favorite Silver Age thing.
On. Oh, so great.
My favorite Silver Age thing is the panel of Superman carrying a solar system on a chain. That's the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, but Jared, I know you got to get out of here in a little bit. Anything else you want to say before you got to go?
No,
if you want to chill, if you want to plug my wife.
Thanks for having me, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys again.
I hate you.
Nice meeting you, Jared.
You too.
Yeah, you didn't give me any clout.
Nice to meet you, Jared. We're giving MSK clout right now and advice on not being a terrible. Like, we're giving him advice on how to deal with women, et cetera, et cetera. He's not listening to anything we fucking say. We are the dumb ones here for trying to help him.
With MSK, he does the opposite of whatever you tell him. So you guys start telling bad advice with women.
Yeah.
So go with women and just ask them what it tastes like.
You give him bad advice for women, and he gets really great advice for men.
No, MSK, go up to a woman and no, MSK. What you should do is go up to a woman and tell her what it tastes like. There you go.
Oh,
yeah, that
shit.
won't lead to getting slapped at all.
I can talk to I'm Batman.
Shit.
I have
A
amazing
9-volt
reflexes.
battery.
Definitely
Look, he
don't put that on YouTube.
I have amazing
He
reflexes
automatically-
like Batman. I'm just
See, you
dodging.
were right. He automatically thought it was too far. As soon as I told him bad advice, he's like, oh no.
Oh no.
It was like, oh,
How
I
dare I
definitely
do
won't
this
that.
on the internet?
But
I'm just
anyway,
asking,
I will
like-
see you guys later.
Later, man.
See ya.
Have a good night, dude.
Later,
nice,
Jared.
brother.
Nice to meet you, man.
You
Nice
too,
to
bro.
see you, bro.
He left me like my dad.
You met your dad?
Cigarettes
No.
are a hell of addiction, man.
You met Chris Tucker?
I'm your dad, man.
No, but this has been fun so far. I can't wait to do this again with a different set of, movies or whatever we're gonna do next time. All right, Warren, you have a hot take you want to let us know about so we can discuss? Comic book related.
I always think they should have retired all the main Golden Age characters, as in like Bruce,
Do you have any?
Peter Parker,
Okay.
Steve Rogers. They all should be retired. They should move on and stick with it, and they should start telling new stories. I think a lot of the problems they're facing right now is the fact that it is 100-year-old IPs. So I don't want to see trying to figure out how to tell a different Peter Parker story. Give me a new Peter Parker. Give me somebody else. You don't just give me some good writers. Give me a good run.
Okay.
I can definitely see that. This is the problem. This is like the conundrum I've always had with Miles Morales. Like, and I'll take it a step further than what you're saying, and I say that like if they're to do that, they should retire the whole fucking character.
Yeah.
Like I don't need calling Miles Morales Spider-Man is a disgrace to the people that created him and the character himself. He should have his own set of villains, his own background cast. He should have his own rogues gallery and his own fucking name. Like, he's existed for how long and he can't get a name. Call him fucking Arachnakid. Call him fucking God, I don't know. There was a couple good ones I heard. Now I can't remember remember them offhand, but there's been some great suggestions for names for him.
When I bought this Thor statue the other day, they had a Miles Morales Spider-Man one, and you know what it said? Miles Morales.
Spider-Man.
It never called him Spider-Man. They never do.
This is why this is part of the reason that it can't he won't catch on. He's constantly he's written in the shadow of Peter Parker. Now, I understand that Marvel hates Peter Parker, but like it's like why they hate. I almost feel like they hate Miles Morales just as much because they won't let him be his own man. Yeah, it's like they hate him for just retire Spider-Man, let him go off into greener pastures, married to Mary Jane with 2 kids, and he's like, I can't do it anymore. Miles, you got to take on you have to pick this up and be your own man and do this your own way. And the same thing could have been done, like you said, like Bruce and Batman. Nightwing could have taken over. Nightwing should take over. It shouldn't be Dick Grayson taking on the mantle of Batman. I don't think he's a good Batman. I think he's great Dick Grayson. He's great as Nightwing. Is Nightwing going to do less of a job? Is he not going to take care of Gotham just as well? No, he's that's not who he is, but he doesn't need to live in the shadow of Bruce. And that's like going through that compendium. It was so great to see a writer like Chuck Dixon give a shit about moving him out from underneath the shadow of being Bruce Wayne's sidekick.
Like they made him have to fall out with Bruce, right? And then it made sense for him to leave and do his own thing. But that's what
and they gave him his own villains. His own supporting cast,
his own city, Bloodhaven. It's his own place to have a playground like that.
And even if he came back to be Batman,
you could always go back and write like an older story that takes place a while. You know what I mean? You can always do that.
Legends of the Dark Knight, man. It existed for a reason. It was great for a reason. Legends was probably one of the best Batman comics that went on back in the 90s because you could just tell a story from anywhere, and you got better creatives because they could just pick any point in Batman's continuity up till then and say, I'm gonna tell a story under this. And there's no reason you couldn't do that with Spider-Man. You couldn't do that with Captain America. Like Captain America could have gone away and been replaced by the Falcon. I didn't need him to become Captain America with wings and shit. Get a good writer behind him, make a good story, and retire Cap. Cap just retired. Like he'd been around since World War II. He went off to have kids and live his own life. Boom. He retired. He had more important like shit to do to raise the next generation, whatever. And Sam comes in and says, I'm going to take over. I'm going to run your beat. I'm going to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm going to do it. But I can do it as the Falcon. There's nothing about the costume. You could put a flag somewhere on Sam's wings and have still been the Falcon and still been able to tell good stories with him. And you didn't have to change.
I don't disagree.
Major
world-ending events, Steve Rogers shows up and does a couple things and that goes back home.
One of the things one of my hot takes that I'm going to argue later, I touch on that. I think there's a lot of value in that kind of storytelling.
I just want to go over Warren's point. I'll just get my opinion on that. So I think the idea, just from conception alone, having a successor makes sense. As what Laps and Warren and you established that brings up. The problem with it is not that the idea is bad, that the execution is always bad. Because you do believe at some point the character should have the happy ending, the kids and the wife or whatever they wanted to do originally as their goal, right? But it never happens that way because inherently, people forget this, you get attached to that first guy. Like people got attached to Peter Parker. People got attached to Bruce Wayne because they were the first ones, right? That's the problem, though, is that how do you convince people that the successor is as good as the original? That's very hard to do, even in movies, right?
This is way too weird because you made way too much sense right there. So you need to dial
what
back.
The fuck? Okay,
he's
it's an alien. He's a pod person. He's been replaced by somebody that doesn't masturbate on cam.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Somebody check MSK. Turn around and lift your hair up. We got to make sure there's not a plug.
Wait a minute. Before we go, I like how he just gave me a compliment and then a backhanded insult in the same sentence. But nevertheless, like that's the problem, though. It's like the Power Rangers example that I bring up with like Mighty Morphin. People saw Mighty Morphin first, so that's the thing they're most attached to. It's how do you break that out of someone? How do you break that attachment to the first thing that they saw, and how do you convince people the successor is as good? Now, I'll say this: DC has did it very better than Marvel. You have Dick Grayson, you have the Barry and Wally and all that stuff, but even with the examples that we can give, there's maybe less than like 10 of them that really can do it. It's all based off execution and writing. If you made it like, okay, if the successor is some fucking bitch pussy later on, he's like, I fucking hate my original mentor. I was better than him. Yeah, no one's going to like that. But if it's a person that respects his mentor and you're like, okay, I'll take on the mantle and I'll really carry it to the future where I can actually live up to your name. That's why characters like Sam Wilson, Captain America can't work because they fundamentally, he's not Captain America, and he doesn't even have the same values that Steve Rogers has. Because keep in mind, we'll use Captain America as an example. Where Steve Rogers, wasn't he born in like the fucking 60s, the 40s or whatever? Way different time period than when Sam Wilson was born. There's a different worldview about how they look at things too. I feel like the way the sidekicks' worldviews can match up, but it's just way different compared to the fact that they're born years later on. It's a hard executional concept. That's why only a few of them really ever work. Like even when Dick Grayson took over being Batman, people were like, no, I want Batman. Because he's not Batman. But that's cool because they like him as Nightwing. It's one of the few examples where it can work. But it's only works like what? A few times? Like how many of these characters could we say? Nightwing, Wally West, Barry Allen because he's not the first one. Hal Jordan, right? Because he's not the first one either. Like how many of these can really exist though? That really take off,
That's more of a state of comics. Like
I agree.
The economics of comics than it is, can it work? Would these companies be able to last making that and getting rid of the other people with the way that comics are sold nowadays? This would have had to been done like, a while back. There had to be some sort of plan involved. Everybody's we're all like freaking out that Hush pre-sold 400,000 copies. We're like, holy god damn it. And I remember buying like 4 X-Men, volume 2 number 1s.
You're crazy.
And it sold 8.2 million. And you're like,
John Stewart, right? People like John Stewart. He was created way later than Kyle Rayner was, but people like him. It's not that they can't do it.
He was written well.
They're just bad at it. They're just very bad at creating new characters that can actually take on mantles.
Any character can be interesting if it's written well.
Right. It can.
Exactly. That's the trick is.
And given time.
It isn't can they do it?
Yeah.
It's is the IP holder willing to spend the money to do it? You've got to get a good writer and good art. You've got to give them the freedom to tell a good, interesting, compelling story that draws people in. You've got to have like a good, like the greatest hero's death of all time in comics, Barry Allen dying in Infinite Crisis. Yeah. Wally West comes out of that as the heir apparent. I mean, that's why Wally, I think, lasted so very long in that role. And you could say the same for kind of Kyle Rayner coming in as the torchbearer.
Man, they hate that guy now. They don't give him anything.
Dude, they don't do shit. It pisses me off so much because he was
Kyle
such a good character.
Awesome. Yeah, when he came in, it was great. Like I've said it a bunch of times. It was like Hal was getting very stale. People were tired of seeing the boxing glove punch people. Kyle Rayner, they were like, he's an artist. There's gonna be all these new constructs that he can make. It's gonna be different, and people liked it. And the same thing, like with Barry and Wally, like whenever I started reading comics, it was literally right after Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yep.
And Wally was my Flash. He was my Flash. That's who I read growing up. So like, and when Johns and that brought back Barry 100%, and it was like, oh, you're just pushing Wally off to the side now. So I get it from
because you like the Mark Waid run when Wally West became the mainstay Flash, yeah.
And but there was stuff even before that he was in.
It was the Velocity run, right? With I forgot the guy's name.
It's more like, do they take the time to actually let the crossover happen of getting rid of this character and making this one the one that you need to read? Are they selling like that? I don't know if the companies are willing to do that. Like Savage Dad said, you have to have a lot of money behind it and be willing to take losses for that to come back.
Fair, though, I want to say, I ask your point really quickly, which is they don't take the time to allow people to basically kind of get over one character to the other one. It's just like, hey, no, fuck Bruce Wayne. You just have this guy here. Well, it's like, fuck, man. Can I get some time?
To be fair, though, DC Comics survived New 52 to say that they can't do it isn't necessarily correct. They could fucking just cut over out of nowhere one day and shit can everything you knew before.
It did end terribly, but at the beginning, New 52 was very popular at the beginning. It just started sucking really quickly.
You remember everyone here? What was the idea
really
behind
did.
Because all the good artists, all the good creatives left.
They totally did.
Well, what was the idea behind the New 52? Creating new stories where people could just kind of get into the character.
We're going to get the modern audience.
Right. And that was one of the biggest mistakes was modernizing characters that have been there, like Superman. Like, what the hell was that?
Hey, what's wrong with douchebag? That was their modernization.
Hey, who didn't love Catwoman sexually assaulting Batman on a roof?
Okay, so next hot take. Savage Dad, what was your hot take?
Oh man, I've been reading so long I could come up with a few. So one that I've raged on multiple times before, since we're already in the vein of this, is that the member berries bullshit that was both Green Lantern and Flash Rebirth were both unnecessary and fucking detrimental to comic books and DC continuity writ large. I think that they were bullshit that was only done to sell issues, and the fact that they kept both of them in mainline just said, "Oh, they're back now," was cheap. It was a cheap stunt, and I mean, Blackest Night being a good story or whatever, that's you could have told the same story without Hal Jordan being there. I think he was ineffectual, but what it led down the road to New 52. It was like, we're just going to do shit and we're not going to really give it a lot of reason. But member berries Hal Jordan, member berries Wally West, please older generation with a bunch more money, come back and buy more issues, please. Please buy this issue, a whole bunch of it, please. And they sold well. But at the end of the day, it shit all over Hal Jordan's sacrifice. It really shit, and it shit completely all over Barry Allen's sacrifice. And it just pissed me off. There was such a better, the stories could have been told, and I think that they would have been very effectual even to this day if it would have been, say, Barry and Hal having some sort of like, this is them out of time, and they come back for a year to save us during some sort of massive crisis that was coming along, and then they suck right back into the time stream and they go the fuck away. But instead, they just said, yeah, we're going to have everybody all the time. Fuck it.
And cry about it, bitch. That's what you do.
And I love the John's Green Lantern run, but I totally agree with you. If they
hold on, my headphones just died, so I'm going to change over, but I can hear you.
If they would have had Rayner, Gardner, and Jon Stewart going up against what started the Sinestro Corps War, and like your idea of them being displaced out of time and then come back to stop that, because that is his biggest, arch nemesis. That would have been way more, it would have had way bigger impact, because then with all those villains that they brought back, like when you see the Anti-Monitor with the goddamn yellow ring, you're like, what is this? What is happening? But I totally, I can honestly agree with that. I didn't like, that's one of the few things that I don't like about Jeff Johns, is he's in his silver age. That's all he wants. So he says, fuck these characters. I'm writing these, and this is what it is now. And he had so much power back then that it was like, boom. As much as I like the stories themselves, because I do, I have to say I do agree that it assassinated the shit out of the other established characters at that point in time. Totally did. Because I even was like, wait a minute, Hal's back. Okay, they didn't even like integrate like anything. It was just, here you go, Hal Jordan's
like the
back.
Rise of Skywalker. Remember when Palpatine and somehow the turned? I'll never get over that. Why that's
well,
somehow
here's the other thing. I don't think that honestly that particular thing would have happened if Rian Johnson wouldn't have killed the Snoke character.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, that happens a lot in
that was shuffling cards at the fastest they could have.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
do?
People have to understand because, like you guys mentioned, I haven't read that story yet, but I've know of it. When you bring characters that are like as popular as Barry Allen and Hal Jordan back, because they're the stars, they're gonna take over the presence of everybody else. So
but it wasn't even that though, MSK. Yeah. They didn't even write the other characters. It was just, he's back, boom, that's it. Like, especially with the Hal Jordan one.
Mm-hmm. And it does stop doing these connected events. Like they do way too many of them. We don't need a massive world-ending connected event every.
God, you're gonna take mine for next time.
Not every time. The only time, then I've said this to MSK. The only time that I feel that is a huge is if you are going to reboot continuity. That's when you do the huge thing that affects everybody. Right. So when you restart it, they are starting from a point that a massive thing happened, and it's all collective. But if not, then what's the point of doing it? Because if you have, Darkseid came down and only attacked, Gotham, or only attacked Metropolis. Well, what the hell is he doing over in Sky City? Like, what is he doing? What's he doing? This doesn't affect
that going on. Barry's fighting Reverse Flash.
That's what I'm saying. That kind of like leads it down to that it's not as important as what is happening over here, where all the shine should be on all of your characters and all of the creators.
And if all of your individual characters are going through a main event all the time, you don't give any time to let your individual characters have their own moments and stories. Like, when they team up, it should be special. When Daredevil shows up on Spider-Man, it should be a wow, thing. Yeah. If not, we should be just concentrating on Spider-Man and what he's doing with his villains.
Yeah. No,
I agree. Yeah,
I agree. And it sucks because I feel stupid because I totally agree with what he's saying, but I actually love those runs. It's so stupid.
He does stupid. He'll say something that you absolutely hate, but you're like, you know what? I'll give you credit there. I agree.
I do.
Like when I talk about MSK's W's.
Even whenever I first read it, when I first read the Green Lantern thing, because it was literally like, they were telling stories of Kyle Rayner. Sometimes Gardner was in there. And then all of a sudden, as soon as the rebirth thing, it was just Hal Jordan. And there was like two panels with like Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart. They were at like a baseball game or something. And that was it. He walked away and that was it.
That was most frustrating. Like, you at least got Final Night and freaking 0 Hour out of the end of Hal Jordan. You got some kind of transition. You got some kind of development of you got a good transition, and that is the thing that I think that is important. Not chopping anything off, but like the story and just doing something hard, but actually making a point of it, actually giving it some gravitas. Like this is the thing. So many writers, even today, are just interested in this instant gratification. There's no respect for and this is another kind of hot take that I have, but there's no respect for like crafting a story in the background and letting it go. And I feel like even though it annoyed me sometimes, Jeff Johns was one of the last people that was any good at that. Though he couldn't tell any story, it didn't matter. You could say that Jeff Johns is coming in for a single issue arc on the Flash, and it would be 50 issues long because he couldn't tell a story in a single issue. A single issue for Jeff Johns is 50 issues. Like, there was no story he ever told that went less than 20. But it was just like, why couldn't we at least build something around the return? Like, the little one-shot thing was just it was so insignificant. It didn't even need to, like, you could question whether or not it was in continuity. It was so off to the side.
Left field. It was out of left field.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it should have stayed that way. I think if they would have been like, hey, Hal Jordan and Barry Allen are coming back to save today's heroes and their proteges from some horrible terror that they came back from in time to rescue the Justice League. And then the portal opens at the end of the thing and they get sucked back into their own timeline, and there they go.
Yeah.
Because I want to add to your thing, because like, if you understand that Hal Jordan and Barry are like your best sellers and all that shit, then don't kill them off in general, though. Because like, if you
they weren't. That was well, at least for Hal Jordan, he was tanking for a while.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying from an overall business perspective.
But I think it's, he's 100% right when he said the member berries. 100% correct. Because that affects people, and they're like willing to give up on what was established and what was already there and selling, like Kyle Rayner was. He was. It was happening, and then
Ron Mars had such a fucking great run on Kyle Rayner. It's a crime. Ron, and I will argue this to this day that so everybody loves EVS's fucking Green Lantern art. I won't take that away from him, but like, bro,
they're doing crack.
Fred Haynes had such a. Where's my doc cam? Let me turn that on. Like, as I read through this compendium, I'm like, fuck, dude, Green Lantern had some, like, did Green Lantern always just have this just good artists showing up here out of the nowhere?
The stuff with the Reign of the Superman and was it Emerald Twilight, some of that art is unreal.
Dude, this shit from the early 90s just popped like on newsprint, which is why I'm glad I have the original. I'm glad I have these, that I got these old versions of 0 Hour Final Night in newsprint, because I think it was Graham Nolan who'd mentioned this the other day about the way things pop off the page, or just the way colors hit different when they're newsprint. But I was so glad that I got this a long ass time ago with the original newsprint, because the art, like that fucking, this one right here,
that's fantastic.
Steel. Oh, dude. I could go on all night with hot takes. Like, it was bullshit that we lost Steel.
Oh no. I was gonna tackle on to what you were gonna say, because like, sometimes as fans we don't think about things from a business point of view. But
that's amazing. Look at that,
dude. Ed Haynes, like this. I'll take this guy drawing Green Lantern over EVS any day of the week.
Like, I need my pies and toilet.
Oh my god, dude. So good. He was so.
We're never not going to make fun of that. I will always make jokes of that. I'm never going to let
he
that.
He deserves every joke made about him. So
like the only thing that I always say is like, because fans always think of things from a fan point of view. Think of things from a business point of view sometimes. But then you must also think about, well, if these characters are this popular and they're selling this much, then why did you ever have a writer kill them off? That makes it, like, you got to go like, hey, you can't kill this guy off. This is making us a lot of money, But as we know, these people are fucking weirdos and don't do jack shit. All right, we'll go to Laps. What is your comic book hot take for us?
All right. Well, okay. So as a creator, I think Stan Lee is incredible. As a writer of the X-Men, I have those and I cannot get through them. They bother me to no end. I don't know why. And I read them and anger boils up in me. And I'm like, I can't. And with it, Kirby's art is so fantastic on it, and I'm reading this stupid shit. Like the Professor X, he's like, "How can I let Jean Grey go out with the woman I love?" And I'm like, "She's 16. You're 70. Like, what is happening?"
This was the 70s, man.
And hold on, and the narrative that Professor X was created as a Martin Luther King allegory and that.
Even that was called. Even Stan Lee had called bullshit on that at one point.
Because he was saying that near the end, like, and I
that's because it's funny how he got old and people. I think as you see the way people treated him, I think his handlers fed that into his fucking ear.
Yes, and I want to see that documentary that dude's making on that, on the Stan Lee thing. It's just I don't know why it bothers me because I have like the first Spider-Man Omni and I have some of the Masterworks. I think I have like the first 12 or something.
Yep.
And I'm like, that still holds up. Like it does.
I can tell you why.
Spider-Man one with Steve Ditko, right? Holds up. Okay.
I can tell you why. Because and Stan Lee had said this for all of the allegories that people like to make out of X-Men, and Stan Lee made them to be representative of a certain underprivileged class. No, Stan Lee had said this when he was young and in the right of his mind. He said he created the X-Men because he was tired of creating backstories for superpowers.
That's why
the X-Men is where Stan Lee was like, I'm burning the fuck out. We're gonna put this on easy mode, and we're just gonna say mutants, and that's gonna explain every superpower going forward.
He retconned that.
He said this. You can find on YouTube. You'll find the video. So I think at that point in X-Men, when he was doing X-Men, I think was at a burnout phase. Like he was like, I'm tired of making backstory for every fucking superpower. It's just too much.
He did say like in the
I have to think this through too much.
That they were like, they had a gene and that was it. And he said, what does the X stand for? It stands for extra power.
Just lose audio again.
It's that, and that was like, and when people nowadays put their politics into things, which is just the worst thing that you can do. It is honestly the worst possible thing that you could do, because here's what one of the major reasons why I cannot stand it, right, is I got music.
Savage has music now again.
So one of the reasons why I can't stand it is everybody, the people that make these claims, right, are always talking about we are progressing as a society, right? So why would you if you are saying that, right, why would you hold something to those progressive standards that didn't exist back then? Because to be progressive, you would have to go forward, right? So why hold that to a standard that it didn't meet and didn't require to meet because you had to change? That's and it bothers me. And it's like, if you're progressive, if this is what progressive is, then I want to be regressive, because the shit now, dude, is not cool. It's not good. It isn't. It's just not. It totally isn't. But yes, Stan Lee as a writer, as the X-Men writer, I do not like it at all, like at all. I've covered him. I do like on my channel. I have like this thing where I cover Batman from the beginning, and it's like little 7-minute videos. I have like the Bat kill count, all that stuff, and I do an X-Men one, and you read some of those issues, and you're like, some of them, I felt like it took me like 4 hours to read like 20-page issues.
I will say this. I try to grab because people know I like starting from the beginning of stuff if I can. I went and tried to grab the Marvel Masterworks for X-Men Volume 1. Then I read some of the reviews, and the reviews were like, if you don't want to start with this, and you can start with Chris Claremont's run after Giant Size X-Men, they said to start with that because they felt like Chris Claremont had a way better time writing the characters and writing out stories than Stan Lee. And I was like, interesting.
Claremont defined them, really.
100%.
Yeah, Claremont defined the X-Men.
There's a reason why the sales shot up after. Yeah.
Well, Stan Lee was great. He did something really, really smart. Was that he looked at the DC characters, and they're all gods and they're all perfect. Then he created a bunch of flawed characters, like Spider-Man can't hold down a job, and he can't, has a hard time getting a girlfriend sometimes. Bruce Banner's a guy with like personality disorder and anger issues. Steve Rogers was a man out of time. I mean, he was able to do that, but when it came down to the actual writing, I have to agree, it was not nearly as strong. Sometimes you can come up with great ideas, but it's the execution that can hurt you, because most of his characters he created were defined by other people. Other people are the ones that define Spider-Man stories. It's not his stories. It's just, Claremont was the one person who really defined the X-Men. So it's all. He's a great character designer.
That's what I said. As a creator, yes, Like, it's just his writing for some. And the thing is I want to like it. You know what I mean? I want to. I really, really do. Like, I'm not going to go spend, a bunch of my money on it and not want to like it. I do really want
to.
For
sure. Yeah.
It's just like, my God, man. Like, some of it, I'm just like, you compare it to even other books he was writing at the time, and you're like, this, like, I guess Savage Dad is 100. He's got to be correct, because it does seem like he gave up, or he's like, burned out, not gave up. And that's true, because the way the X-Men, after, I can't remember what issue, but I know, like, to fill out the rest of the run, they were doing reprints for subscription.
From issue 60, like 66,
they were doing reprints,
all reprint.
And for subscription. How about that? I miss subscriptions. I miss going to my freaking mailbox.
You're old. Man. Oh my God.
So what? Dude, I got Web of Spider-Man for 3 years. For 3 years.
I miss being able to go to the grocery store and just picking them up on the spinner.
Oh, dude, I know, right? Like, my kids have it.
Now you're old. You disgust me. Oh my God.
I first picked up Spider-Man at a fucking grocery store in Colorado. My kids get to have that joy today, though. Whenever they get a new issue of Dogman, the #1 selling Western comic book in America, when we're at Costco, they find it, and there it is. They've got their new issue of Dogman.
I found Joe Mad during his X-Men run at a spinner rack at a Safeway. That's what I became an X-Men comic book fan that day. Like, he was the one that really inspired me to do more art. Like, I was trying to copy and use his hands for reference and trying to draw like him for a long time. But no one could draw like him. Roger Cruz he had an era where he was really kind of close, but he never got as good as Joe Mad.
All right. Last, did you want to say anything else, or I'll do mine?
No, the other one I'll say for a different time, because that I know that one will will be a conversation carrier.
Now you just start burning the fucking room. God. Well, it's not about money; it's about sending a message.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, Master Bruce.
Just all burning out. That's what the last wants to do, is just burn the building to the ground, man. I will say this. Before I say mine, I don't mean this against anyone. I just hate the idea of it. Oh my God.
I'm already offended.
What are you, a liberal? Holy shit.
Traggard.
Oh God. Traggard. All right. So, Big Daddy's turn.
Oh God!
My comic book.
It's the Jizzler. That's your name, right? I thought your name was the Jizzler.
No, not tonight. I've already had sex. I already blew out a few loads. Oh, thank you for helping me.
Hey, don't offend his girlfriend Rosie Palm.
Palma and Jill.
Oh, fucking hell! So, all right. My comic book hot take, and I want to make sure I preference this. I don't mean this against anyone. I just don't like the idea of it, because as for as many faults we give the comic book industry, and I'll tell you guys of ways they could do it better, there's a structure they could utilize to make it better. I personally feel like going and collecting a bunch of back issues is fucking stupid, and I think it's overrated as hell. That's my hot take. People, they're on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or on, like, in real life sometimes when I see them, they're like, I'm going to go get a bunch of back issues. I'm like, okay, cool. Then they don't read
MSK.
them.
Didn't you just buy, like, the Triangle Era of Superman?
Yeah. So I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover
make it sure.
So
he's just offended that I don't read new comics.
I'm the mastermind of this. So this whole fucking, I'm going to go back and get a bunch of back issues. I'm going to go through all these boxes and grab these issues. Now, if you're a collector and you like collecting over reading, sure, go ahead, do it. I don't really give a fuck. But if you're someone that wants to read the books, there are better ways of reading that stuff in collected format if it exists in collected format. There's omnibuses, there's trades, there's compendiums, a bunch of different ways to do it. That Nightwing compendium book he brought out about 25 minutes ago when we were doing the show live, right? That's a better way of reading Nightwing than going to a shop and picking out a bunch of fucking issues. Why not just have it in a collected format where you can pick it up, read it, put a bookmark into it, and stop where you want to go? People grab back issues and are like, what do you do with them? They're like, oh, I just grab a bunch of back issues. For what? You're not reading them, so it doesn't make it. Oh, and keep in mind, floppies take up more space. I'd rather have what you have, what we all have, shelves of books where you can just collect a book, put it there, that's it. Collecting back issues is overrated as hell. Fuck
I'm
that
trying
shit.
to get the back issues for this. This is the first comic I ever bought. I still have it. I'm trying to get. This is after the invasion arc, dude.
Give him an omnibus.
But
if you got an omnibus of that, you wouldn't want the back issues, right? If you got an omnibus of it, you wouldn't want the back issues. There's no point.
No, yes, I would.
For what? You would have it collected right there in front of you.
I have tons of back issues.
It holds.
Oh, I hate you guys.
It holds a sentimental place in my. This is what started.
Yes, and you have it.
Yes, but I want the full run of it because I had that.
It'll just be an omnibus. I hate you. I hate you so much. Oh God,
I have 30,000 individual floppies in my closet.
And you know what happens?
I'm the kind of collector who buys the same thing in multiple formats. I just recently,
I don't want to dig the floppies out.
Picked up the entire Court of Owls run.
I got Mike Barr and Jim Aparo Outsiders books.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Look
at how awesome that is.
If you want to go read Court of Owls, fucking hell, go pull out your omnibus, go pull out your compact comic version, go pull out your trades.
I like that with the floppies.
That's what I do.
Yes,
no one's gonna sit there and grab out fucking 13 floppies. No way.
Sometimes a 1,400-page omnibus is not practical to read.
By what?
Sitting in my bed.
You do it all the time.
Yes, but my wife had to buy me a stand that is
adjustable.
Oh my
God!
I don't want it sitting.
One of those.
I don't want it sitting on my crotch the entire time.
What do you mean?
You are actually that is a good point because I've had the same problem in reading the omnibuses, and I'll try to lie down. I actually was thinking about 3D printing something that I could use as a stand.
Dude,
omnibuses when I'm reading them.
I'll show you what my wife got me. It was only like $14. It's amazing. It looks like a TV tray. You pull the legs out, and then the front of it, you can adjust it, and it so you could tilt it to where you want. And it has a cup holder.
That sounds exactly like MSK's girlfriend.
Fuck you. I just want to just add to my hot take really quickly. So outside of
this one's a little bit more advanced.
I also think it's better. I hate you guys. I'm gonna just add to my hot take. There's 2 layers to it. I think it's even better for new readers to have collected editions. That way they're not sitting in a shop just going through back. It's way easier to just have a fucking book in front of you and go through all the shit. Because people say a bunch of people are getting back issues and stuff. They must be not reading them because they're not buying anything else. It must be literally just they're doing it because people are just saying, "Hey, get back issues," just because.
No, they might be doing it to fill out collections. They might be.
No. I say collectors. It's fine if you're doing it for collectors.
There's something like I still read these, right? There's something about having that original. When you're reading like Teen Titans and stuff like that. I just had found these not long ago, and I know I have the other ones, but if I don't have one of them, why have the 24 of them if I don't have that one?
Yeah. So, I'm just saying that if they make that into like a finest collection or an omni, you'd rather have that, right? Would you not? It's way easier to read. It looks better on the shelf.
How is it way easier to read? This is literally
it's all collected. You can just pick it.
But this is like not even an inch thick.
I hate you. He's trolling me. He knows what I'm saying.
MSK likes the thickness in his hand, Laps. You got to understand.
Okay.
If it isn't girthy in MSK's hand, he's not interested.
Okay, hold on. Before we go.
Sometimes I like looking at the nostalgic, like freaking.
I don't disagree with that. I think it's fine.
Some of the ads in here, dude. Like if I wanted to get Hell on Earth, Frost and Fire, I could cut out this little coupon right here, man. And I could send it to him, and it's coming to my house.
Oh my God, you're insane. Okay, before we go back to my hot take, before we go, are you when you read an omnibus, are you a dust jacket on or off, man?
Off.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, good. We agree on that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
MSK always jackets off.
Don't get me wrong. Oh my God.
All right.
I like the omnibus format. I love the giant pages. I think that's awesome. Yeah. It makes splash pages look really cool. Like I do like it. My wife bought me a tray just so I could read them because I do. But telling me that this is harder to read than that, you are an insane person.
It's easier to read if it's all collected. So I'll go to my third layer.
It's easier to read in the sense that you have it all there.
Yeah,
it's not practical. Easier to read by lifting this half ounce of a thing.
I want to choke this man. This man's crazy.
Sometimes I want to read in bed and not have to have an apparatus there to read.
See, MSK doesn't have a bed. That's part of the problem.
Oh my God.
Dude, you are linking pieces of the puzzle together. You need your own.
Like I told you, I'm OG continuity MSK. I've got all the old background.
So I do agree. I will add the third layer to it. They need, because I know what Laps is saying. They haven't reprinted a lot of older stuff like that, and I'll get to that. So what they need to do as a better structure is they need a better reprint structure for omnibuses and collected format, because whenever we hear about collected editions or omnis getting reprinted, it's just random shit. It's just literally fucking the Wild Wild West. They need an actual structure on what people want so they can reprint it, right? That needs to improve, Yeah, there you go.
There's Legends of the Dark Knight. This is one of my favorite ones. The
Citizen
Wayne. I like
very
this one.
nice.
Get that into a collected edition right now. Get it for the man. So he
MSK
can put it on his shelf.
Make it thicker for MSK.
I love thicker and bigger.
Just a little bit thicker.
I love
maybe a little bit. Maybe some finger imprints.
All hardcover, all thick, no dust jacket, all hands. No, but that's my layer take. I think back issues are overrated. I think collecting them is dumb. I'd rather just the comic book industry reprint all that shit in a great collected editional format that you can just put on your shelf like we all have, grab it and read it. Now, if you like the floppies, that's fine. That's not the issue. But I think there's a much better way of getting it together so we can have it all in front of us than fucking having to sift through boxes, because that's like not realistic for a lot of people, Well,
I just feel that's where you're wrong. Like half of the fun
I'm always wrong
of owning stuff is having specific pull boxes and having those, I used to draw, like when I would have my cardboard ones, I would like draw on the sides of them and like have like stuff that's on there, and being able to go through like with your friends, like I used to have friends over and we would sit there and read. What are you reading? Oh, I'm reading Batman. What are you reading? Oh, I'm reading. It was fun. But I understand where you're coming from, but it's funny to hear when you say that collecting is dumb, but then you say you want the collected edition.
Is fine. No, collecting is fine if you want to get.
You just want someone else to do it for you.
No, I'm saying if you're collecting the covers because you like
MSK
the covers, whatever. I think it's fine. But if I just think it's a much better way of reading a story is having it in a collected edition. Because like
there's some definitely a better way to introduce people
MSK
to it.
Loves the binge model.
Yeah.
Like if you have like a trade papack that has like 12 issues in it, I understand where you're coming from. Like I understand that.
Yeah, because
when you're talking to like three people,
I said I wasn't talking to fucking veterans over here. Did you not hear what I was saying?
I did listen, but we're the only people right here.
Oh my God, man. Holy shit.
We're the only people to give you an opinion back.
I don't need that. I need my echo chamber. But no, I'm joking. So
if you need an echo chamber, dude, you're gonna have to put headphones on and go in your closet. That's the only person that's gonna be echoing is you.
So like, because my other layered way to my hot take is you'll have writers who will just squat on a book, like literally squatters write on a book, main title forever. And they could have just collected all that shit way easier, way faster, and they're just sitting on a book for books for months on months, wasting time.
A creator thing, or is that an editorial thing?
Could be a mixture of both.
Because like I'm not gonna take Claremont off the X-Men from 72 to freaking 90s.
Joke's on you. They didn't do that.
I'm just saying like that might throw in the face of it. Yes. Now collecting his stuff through Omnis is weird because they go X-Men 1, 2, 3.
Put it in a flop. Put it in a hardcover.
If it was like, you go up to 5 and then you got to get Extinction Agenda and then you got to get the other, like if they just kept going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. That to me would be more of a take than
that's why I agree that they need a better way of just reprinting this stuff. Like recently they did it with the compact comics, like
those are nice. I agree, those are cool.
Compact comics have been pretty cool for DC. That's coming out in wave 3 later on this year, because like realistically, is that person going to go to a comic book shop and hunt down the 13 issues of Long Halloween, or you just give them fucking a trade, or you give them a compact comic version of it, which is way easier to consume and way easier to just.
Well, you're finding the compact in Targets and shit like that, so you're going to get much more people looking. Like you go into Barnes and Noble, it's full of like it has like one section of DC, Marvel, graphic novels.
Yeah.
Fortress of manga, but most even the DC and Marvel graphic novels go to comic book shops, which is another problem. Is that DC and Marvel are too dependent on just using comic book shops in order to distribute comics? Which
one of the biggest problems
this is the thing I want
100%.
And this is the thing I'll agree with you guys with. I think if you're going to utilize the floppy format still, it just has to evolve because this is what they should do. So look over here. Oh, goodness gracious. It's an example I can give. So it's the Brave and the Bold for Dawn of DC into All In, right? This is essentially the size of it's like this. It's like a 64-page floppy. If you're going to do floppies, they need to be either more pages to cover more of the arc, or you just turn that into a collected edition of what you were already going to produce anyway. Because floppies can sometimes be very boring if you're fucking reading a drawed out run. And you guys know that. You just said it with the X-Men. It felt really drawed out, just going through a bunch of like, oh my God, hurry the fuck up.
What's interesting about what you're talking about is before floppies made sense because it was like $2, $3.
Yep.
Now we're talking about floppies going up to those recent reports I was hearing, like $5.99, $6.99. So now when it's like, okay, do I get absolute Batman 1 through 7 or 6?
Yeah.
Or do I just wait till the graphic novel comes out? Because then that way I'm getting all 6 for $20 instead of $6.99 for all of them because of some trade war or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true too. And
floppies are pricing themselves out. It's getting to the point where the consumer's like, I don't want to spend, because this happens in indies all the time. You got a guy who's got a comic book for like $20, 24-page comic book, $15, $20. He has to do that because of his bottom end or his price deal. But it's like it's graphic novels are going to become a lot more, especially with the manga culture and with the fact of price of floppies, where a 24-page floppy, which is like 5 pages of fucking ads, is now $6.99. You know.
Yes. And it also goes into the actual brick and mortar stores not being able to compete with, they can only compete with floppies. They can't compete. Like I said, like the Lobo one. I went in there, I bought it just because I've been going there forever, right? I could have got it on Amazon for way cheaper. Way cheaper. Just like when I bought the John's JSA, right? My guy had it, but it was $125. I got that thing for fucking $49.99.
You sure didn't go through them floppies to get that. You went for that full compendium.
That's why those compacts are so great. For $10, you're getting quarter vowels. You know, for $10, you're getting long Halloween. You know, and that's what they should be doing across the board.
Yeah, that's why I've been bringing up the. That's why I had like
they have been MSK said, the dollar store. That's fantastic, because how many moms go to the dollar store to bring along the kid? The kid might see that and be like, "Ooh, look!"
I went and looked at my Dollar Tree. I didn't see any of them there. I'm hoping I see them
sold out. Because they're only $1.29.
Mine haven't showed up to mine yet. I keep asking them like once a week, like, are they here yet? They're like, no, not yet.
Like that. The reason why I brought it up in 4 layers is because the comic book industry can make it much more easier to get stuff in a collected format. Obviously, it helps new readers. They like it with the new Marvel Premiere and DC Compact format, and it could also still appease collectors if you just want the floppies. But if the floppies are going to be here, I think they need to be in that prestige format where it needs to be either 64 pages covering at least 2 arcs a book. Because keep in mind, they were going to do this anyway. Why not just give you more of it and charge you? Because that kind of book that I just showed you guys, that's not $4.99. That's like $7.99. But if you feel like you're getting 64 pages, two issues in there, then it becomes a little bit different. You feel like you get more bang for your buck, though. That's different.
Yeah.
But if you have a fucking art, like a writer or creator like Lap said, where they're just sitting on a book for issue after issue, that's just boring as hell. Like, can you finish and get the fuck out of here? You know?
Well, it depends on if the run is great or not. Like,
right.
Whether they get the character. That's also, leads to editorial problems where they put a person on a book that might not, want to necessarily write that or isn't into that character to write. When you have someone who wants to write a specific character, if it matches them, like with Bendis, right? I thought when he was writing Superman, I was like, why? Yeah. Why? Mm-hmm. When he had already written that, that one little Batman thing he did, that was actually fun. It was actually it was a Batman universe. It was a fun little stupid Batman story. It was fine. And then you're like, why is he on Superman? Why? and then it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked, you know. And you're like, you already had success writing this character, but he wanted to do that. So it's like you have to navigate between who wants to write a certain character, but if they are good to write that specific character.
Yep.
Instead of just here's your okay, this month you're writing Green Lantern, this month you're doing this, you're doing this.
And these guys stay on there for like 2 to 3 years. Imagine how long that is, guys. 2 to 3 years of just issue after issue, squatting there, ain't going nowhere. And then even if you were to get the collected edition, which I think is better format in general, let's say you read that, okay? It's the same shit. It didn't go anywhere, but at least it feels better in one go than having to be there floppy after floppy after floppy. You give up on it. Then you think every other book is bad, because if you think one book is bad, it infects your mind that other books are just as bad, because that's how we are as humans. We think if one experience is bad, we think the other ones are bad. So yeah, that's my hot take. I think collecting back issues is dumb. Just get an omnibus, get a trade, get a hardcover, get anything other than that. Yeah, I'm not saying to not support your shops. People say, but I want to support my shop. Yeah, buy their trades, buy their hardcovers. Just buy them there.
If they have them, some shops.
If they have them, like, you know,
that's where they don't do it, though. They usually have like a few shelves of trades because they can't compete with trades. When I can go and get this for $16 or $11 off of Amazon, I want to support the brick and mortar stores. But when they sell it for $30, like, why? I could get 2 or 3, you know, like, or like what Savage Dad did. He looked at and he got that for $31. Like, there's no way he would have walked into a store and got that for $31. That was 40.
Not even Barnes and Noble.
Right.
Well,
that would
I
be
buy
like
all
50.
my manga from Amazon because it's like $4 or $5 more at Barnes and Noble, you know.
And that's it's too hard. It's the thing that you want them to do with the trades. It's too hard for them to do because they have to make money. And if you think that the comic book people are ever going to cut them a break, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. This only idealistically works in a perfect world, but you know, I think that would, in my personal opinion, because I'm biased and obviously rich and good looking and a very good sex master.
That has anything to do with comic books.
The Jizzler.
The Jizzler. I just feel like
this Batman.
I just feel like certain stories could be better collected in a collected edition than going through them through floppy. And I think a lot of them now currently, not the back of the day ones, those are usually better to consume sometimes. Floppy maybe, but the ones we've been reading recently, not all of them. Obviously, I've been reading a lot of them. You know, luckily they haven't been all that bad. But imagine if we were going through 5 of these books like we review here, and they were all this bad, man. We would be like, "Fuck this! Just give me the trade later on."
Yeah, but if they were all that bad, I wouldn't support it. Because at some point in time, you have to say, "Hey, that's where I get like, that's where I do say to some people like who say everything now is awful. I say there are good things, but I mostly tend to agree because if you don't tell them that you don't like this, then nothing will change. Nothing is going to change. You can't. How are they supposed to know that that nobody likes this if everybody's just continuing to buy it just because it's Batman, right?
Or Amazing Spider-Man. Like, who the fuck is reading Zeb Wells for that long?
Oh,
Jesus
God. Or Dan Slott. Oh, fuck.
Dan Slott is going to be on Superman. Superman Unlimited, #1, coming with Dan Slott.
He's gonna walk. Is he gonna? I want to see.
He did say he's not gonna do like superior Superman. He said he's not gonna do.
If Superman trades brains with Jimmy Olsen and then has sex with his mother, I'm going to leave and I'm done.
It's just going to be Dan Slott focusing in on Superman's son having sex with Lobo's son.
I'm going to hold him to this because he did say it. He said that he won't be retreading any of his usual storylines that he did at Marvel on Superman. Okay, I'll give you a chance. I'll give you the first arc.
I won't.
If it's not good, I'm tapping out.
Dan Slott did no. He's totally not going to one more day. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he one more date Superman and got rid of Lois and then he got him and Wonder Woman together, maybe that could be better.
Hey, blame that on Joe Quesada. Joe Quesada's a weirdo. I'm just saying. A lot of Marvel editors are fucking weird, dude. I feel like they hate being alive. Like Tom Brevoort. Have you guys seen what he looks like?
They hate the characters.
No, they definitely hate the characters. 100%.
Yeah, Tom Brevoort looks like he sucks. Like he literally eats devils for his breakfast and eats like bullshit.
Oh I feel like there is a big hate on the original characters from both companies. Less from DC because they're damn near bankrupt.
Yeah, they have to rely on that,
making them money.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Disney. I think Disney doesn't like the old stuff.
No, because if they did, they wouldn't make them skip over for their movies
all new, all
50
different.
and 60 years of storytelling to tell a story about a character that's never finished a freaking 12 book run.
Man, shots fired at Kamala Khan. Holy shit.
How is that shot fired? I mean, that's just true.
And I mean, shots are already fired. She's already dead. Oh, you know what Marvel did, everybody?
Now.
They announced she was going to die, and then they brought her back just a month later.
I was gonna say, hopefully they didn't kill her in a terrible way. I mean, there's a lot of ways they could have killed that particular character that would have been very offensive.
Could have did it 9/11, since that's what our people do. Whoa.
She went back.
Oh, shit.
Good Lord.
Oh shit.
So next week on MSK's new channel.
Yeah, right.
Hey, yo.
Unsolved mysteries. Has anybody seen this man?
I know what you Muslim people do when you have plain. Nope.
You're
Nope.
have to change his name to King Swagmaster. Just
right.
They're not even gonna put you on the back of milk. They're gonna put you on the back of Kool-Aid. Flippy dudes.
Live from Guantanamo.
Yeah, live from Guantanamo Bay.
Live from Venezuela. MSK's hot takes were too much.
I think what we should do with this here.
I
Here
hate you.
It's not necessarily if we just got together like once every 2 weeks and just talked about the news and just random bullshit. I think that would be a lot of fun.
You want me to talk to these cloud chasers every week?
I want to talk to them. I like talking to them.
Oh, okay. You're not talking to me. Yeah. Oh,
the Jizzler over here has got all the OnlyFans clout any of us will ever need.
Oh,
like my back hurts carrying the show too
me
much.
And Savage Dad usually have a show Wednesdays. I gotta ask him this. Next week, are you in town? You're gonna be in town next week, sir, on Wednesday?
I believe so.
Damn. That means he wants to date me on Wednesday. So on Wednesday next week, what we're gonna review? I forgot. We'll have to pick something. But speaking of bad Marvel shit, because we talked about maybe they should kind of usher in some new characters. Some new blood is good. Yeah, not this way. Yeah, not this. This Captain America, I shit you not, has a door knocker in his nose. I'm not kidding you. I'll show you right now. This is what they're trying to sell me on new characters. Avengers Academy. Discover the next generation of Earth's mightiest heroes.
Oh, they're doing this again? This never works.
In Avengers Academy, assemble issue number 1.
They're bringing the webcomic to print.
The hit.
Oh, yay. When are they going to print Nightwing's webcomic too?
Oh, no, we're not talking about that one. Nope. I refuse.
Nice. Isn't that like Nightwing's Juicy Butthole, whatever the hell that
no.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's the what is it? The Nightwing's butt or something like.
Yeah, I reviewed. We read. B.S. Warren and I read through it on Saturday.
I'm the one who told him it existed. I'm the one who told him it existed.
Well, then why didn't you read through it with him?
Yeah, I'm not trying to read about a dude's butthole because I'm not gay. But the hit Marvel Limited Infinity comic series comes to print
that affinity
for the first time in June. Yeah, this is coming to print the first time in June. Look at this. Does that scream? I need to buy this for new characters.
So what's the door knocker in his nose? What are you talking about?
If you look very closely, he has a nose ring right there. If you look, I'll send you a link right here. I'll just put it in here so you guys can look at it. But he has a fucking door. No, he has a door knocker in his fucking nose. That's Juggernaut? There's a T-Rex there. What the fuck? That's my Avengers?
T-Rex Juggernaut?
Well, that's Moon Girl and her dinosaur.
Moon Girl.
Oh, dude, that name verges on racism every time I hear it. I know there's something wrong with it. I can't place it. I'm sure if I listen to MSK long enough, I would.
And all the show we've talked about, you know what? Maybe we need some new characters. Maybe we need some new blood.
She's the smartest character in all of Marvel, remember? Don't forget that.
I just blew the picture up. Captain America is wearing overalls, a cut-off white sleeve shirt, and he has a tribal tattoo on his arm.
I hope he's white as fuck, so it makes it even funnier.
He's white as hell.
Captain America ever.
Yeah. It's like
I replied to the tweet and I said, "Man, does that look like trash?" I just said it looked like trash because it does.
It would only be better if he had a Japanese tattoo on his neck.
And this guy, he was like, "You're 5
and it
followers."
Says dick, and he thinks it doesn't.
He says, "You're 5 followers watching your 0 view streams." That's not true at all. I don't know. First of all, how does me talking about this cover mean you talk about viewers on my? That's a bot. The fuck out of you, fucking.
I mean, all you'd say is like, dude, you're a dentist.
Yeah. And this guy, I had a discussion with one of them because he said how, and they said this isn't a DC book. What? What
the hell does that mean?
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? This guy blocked me because he said we don't need any more negative grifters in the comic book community. I remember what he said. He deleted because he's a fucking bitch made pussy who fucking blocks people. I was like,
Tell us how you really feel about this.
This is what I said. People are allowed to voice their opinion about what's wrong with what they buy. Yeah, that's all I said. I said people are allowed to voice their opinions. What's wrong with that? I buy comics and I read them. Yeah. Just because I don't like what this looks like doesn't mean I'm not allowed to give my opinion because it's like you're pushing negativity. Fuck off, you fucking dirt monkey. Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, I hate that whole like.
You have to be fake positive.
If you didn't like it, why would you comment on it? It's like, well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a fan. I mean, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
So like whenever I don't like something, I can still say, hey, I don't like this.
No,
yeah, what's annoying about that is like
I'll ask you guys this. Did you guys think that was good? Maybe I'm blind. That was like crap.
What's annoying about that stance too is that it's such easily reversible logic. It's like, why do you have to comment about something when you like it? Like, just shut the fuck up. I don't care if you like it.
And everybody gets the understanding of like, there's bands that I like, right? But I don't like every single album or every single song that they put out.
But they want to push that fake.
How you better not? Then you can't be a Taylor Swift fan.
That
she speaks to my heart.
Good
so
Lord,
that's
you guys are gay.
That's just
I was just bringing up that guy brought up. He was like, "Man, we don't need any more negative grifters in the comic space." I'm like, I'm not about to just like not voice my opinion because you might think it's negative. You might think it's negative. Go fuck off, you bitch made pussy.
Yeah, criticism isn't negativity. It is just that criticism. It's only negative if you interpret.
They want to push toxic positivity. No, you have to be positive no matter what it is. No, I don't, because that fucking. First of all, that just makes you a consumer in the worst way possible. That means any line of disagreement means hate, because that's what it means now on the internet. If I say I don't like one of Laps's books, he's like, you hate me. It's like, what the fuck? No.
Well, it's very funny, especially when they talk about negativity, but these are the people that push critical thinking.
Like, and slurs. If you disagree, they'll call you a slur. They'll call you the
Shut up, Whitey.
Yeah, they'll call you the N-word, the F-word, but they're the positive ones. Like, no, fuck off. I'll voice my opinion about anything I want to voice my opinion about. That looks like shit. How dare they put you
honky?
Good.
I would love it.
Good Lord,
so much.
Like, oh, and guess what? Now we talk about being progressive here. You know, new things should happen. Warren, you might not like this. I'm not shitting you. Look at what they're doing with Eddie Brock. He is Carnage now. Eddie Brock's Carnage. He is the Carnage symbiote. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Why?
Eddie Brock and Carnage have bonded.
Is this because the guy that Peter Parker is cucking that's cucking Peter Parker, I'm never sure which, is now Venom?
Mm-hmm. Paul is
Jesus Christ.
Man. Why would they do this?
You know, Warren, earlier you said, hey, they need to kind of push some new stuff. I don't know about that, buddy.
You know how
they're creatively bankrupt.
No. That's a little bit different than pushing something new. That's taking someone that was already established as one thing and then became another thing, and now he's even another thing that rivals the thing that he was before. And that thing rivaled the thing that he was before. So they are just all fucked up on this.
I'm talking more Batman Beyond than that bullshit. Like,
yes, right.
Be careful what you whisper, Warren. Marvel.
I heard that the end of the run of the current Spider-Man, Venom is going to lure Spider-Man to a hotel and tie him to a tiny chair and then fuck Mary Jane in front of him. That's the end of the series.
Oh my god.
Spider-Man in the Cuck Wars.
Spider-Man
Cuck Wars. Spider-Man Cuck Wars. We're currently in the next, and then after that ends, Mary Jane's gonna get a new boyfriend. His name is Tyrone, and you can't say shit about him.
Yep. Crisis on Infinite Cuck Worlds.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
It's whenever
it's gonna be 20 years.
Purse snapped by his cousin.
Hey man, Crisis on Infinite Cuck Wars. That would be amazing. Holy
That's what
crap.
It's going to be. It's Spider-Man Cuck Wars. It's just them shit. It's the only way they could find to degrade Peter Parker more is to have him watch Mary Jane roll through a slew of like every dude that she can like. She's going to date some dude from the like the fucking the Nets at some point. Then she's gonna be banging a baseball player.
The Nets.
The Nets. The Brooklyn Nets.
Like,
I know it's
Luke
just funny.
Cage 1 week, then Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. Then she starts making the rounds with superheroes. Like Wolverine shows up, like it's not Mary Jane.
No.
I'm the best there is at what I do.
She has to start dating a black football player from the Eagles.
You got any beer, bub? It's like
Exactly.
to the
Got me
bedroom.
pussy.
Exactly.
God, can I just tear into your pussy, bub? I'm gonna get inside your butt hole.
in here.
That is exactly how this is gonna go. And then
Hold on. Do you guys think Mary Jane shaves for Paul? Like she just keeps it hairy down there? I'm just asking. You guys think she shaves it?
I
or
never
she keeps
really
it long?
gave it that much thought. I was like,
okay.
I thought she was shaven until it was drawn. So yes, it's always shaven.
How do we know that? How do we know? I think she likes it long and hairy. I'm just saying. Okay,
MSK.
the real hot take that I have next time
some
is
batteries in there.
the real hot take I have for the next time we do this is Daredevil can't have sex because he's blind. I'm doing it. I'm arguing it next time. He can't have sex. He's blind. How does he have girlfriends? He can't see them. They're like, he could just put his dick in them. He doesn't even know how to do that. How? He's blind. He can't see it. What if he has a micro-int? What if he has 4 inches? How does he fit it in there? To what? He could be fucking trannies for all we know about. So next time,
his senses would tell him he could smell the testosterone.
That's just not how that works.
We need something that every time he talks, dude, the little more you know thing pops up like right afterwards.
I want you guys to tell me how a blind man
Where's my
can have
OBS
sex.
at? So
Convince me.
Whenever he gets really MSK, I just
Now you're in the Clone Saga. Oh my god, Savage Saga. Holy shit, man! But we had a great show. We're gonna wrap it up here in like 5 more minutes because I know you guys got to go to bed. Well, Laps has to. It's on the East Coast. It's late for him. Savage Dad.
MSK would have to go to bed if he had a bed.
I have a bed.
True. He goes to floor.
It folds into a couch.
All right, okay.
He doesn't have a couch.
I don't know. I gave everyone a compliment.
Let's not lie to the people.
He hasn't gotten enough Amazon boxes for a couch yet.
I love how I was just saying
running out of tape,
and then they just insult me. It's okay. It's fine. I'll just forever be insulted, even though I'm a Riz master. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
MSK, the Jizzler.
The life of the Riz master.
Yes, when you're the Jizzler, you got to take the ups and the downs. Okay.
I need Warren to draw me as the Jizzler. MSK number 1.
I was gonna say, jizzle me this Batman right on the little bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
I just like saying jizzle.
Oh,
that's exactly how I imagine all of that going.
Fuck me, dude. No, but we need some more chick porn in comic books. That's my hot take. More chick porn.
Oh, that's all over Kickstarter. Just start doing crowdfunding.
Yeah, there's plenty of that.
I'm not. Yeah.
Titty bucks and
no, he actually means
books.
like baby chickens. So
Are you on Family Guy? They had that. Dude, they had a skit where Peter was trying to get off from chickens, and then the chicken would lay eggs and put her boobs on the window. She was laying eggs.
You paint an extraordinary picture.
No,
MSK beats off to the weirdest shit.
That's the Family Guy skit. It wasn't me. You guys are gaslighting bastard.
No, he didn't say you wrote.
I don't remember.
Beat off to it.
That's disgusting. You need help. You need help. You literally need help. Hey,
just taking off that dust jacket.
God.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Hey,
he got his new compendium. It's time to take the dust.
I'm a real comic reader. No dust jacket. God. No, let's start with Lunchbox Warren because he believes that Daredevil can't have sex either because he's blind. He agrees with me 100% on everything I say.
Not one bit.
If 2 blind people have sex, does it come out deaf?
Oh, okay.
Matt Murdock is blind and he's still seen more pussy than MSK.
No. Oh my God.
I like what
How can
Savage
he see
Dad...
it? He's blind. He can't have sex.
I like what Savage Dad
refuse
mentioned.
to believe that guy ever got laid.
That pussy gives off a lot of electromagnetism. I see it.
I hate you guys. You guys are all fired. I'm gonna get a new crop of white guys here, and I'm gonna pay them $30K a year to compliment.
He's gonna. You're gonna pay them your whole salary? How are you gonna live?
I live on the Amazon boxes that I bought.
See? You can do anything with creative imagination.
I do need to get a new shelf. So if he asks me, I'm just gonna GoFundMe for a new
Amazon
shelf.
box, here they come.
Dude, that's about 7 trades right there.
7 trades.
Yeah.
All right, Warren, what you got planned coming up, man? Beside being alive,
I've got issue 2 of my comic book series Kickstarter coming up, and then I need to get a website started. I got to figure that out so I can sell those on there too. But if anyone in the chat wants a copy of my comic book, just hit me up in the DMs, and I can $15. I can send it anywhere in America. I'm working on getting issue 3 ready to print, and then issue 4 is being laid out right now. And if you're in the Pacific Northwest around Port Angeles, in April 10th through the 14th, they're having a big comic convention there, and I will be there at a table, so you can stop by and say hi.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So wait, what you're saying is we're not gonna wait 4 years for your comic books, and we won't be seeing you on 8-hour drama streams EFAPing my content?
No, not at all. I can
Wait,
put
he
out
EFAP'd your content, MSK? You're not big enough for him.
Oh,
I'd rather be behind the pizza place than talking about yours.
He's been doing some punching down lately. There's a few indie creators he's EFAPing and talking shit about, like guys that make like 10K Kickstarters, and he's talking shit
about being called the throat goat by the entire internet. That meme. I gotta after this, I'm gonna watch the new episode. The guys from Pod Awful. It's their thumbnail is just him licking the toilet for the episode that aired like 3 hours ago. I gotta see what he's doing. If he puts out a comic book of Cyberfrog, of Pod Awful Cyberfrog, before EVS like even sends one of the Rainbow the Brute books to the printer, I will give him all the money. I will buy the most highest tier of whatever he crowdfunds that book at. Fucking A. So great.
He just said recently that Rainbow Brute was only halfway done. So 5 years for the first half, probably
what
five
he means by that? He means one issue of it. Not all 3 books. He means that one book that he is working on currently. The rest of them will never fulfill. I stand by my stance that when he had that heart attack, his hand is like the only thing shakier than his hand is Juju the cow and Vito's internet browser history. Like I honestly think he can't draw anymore, and that's why he doesn't, and he can't. Like he may get fits of like medicated and fits of days where his hand is steady, but I think he lost it when he had that heart episode. I saw what happened to my dad after his first stroke. There's no fucking way his hands are still anymore. That's why he doesn't do it anymore. He just can't cope with it or admit it.
My dad had his stroke before he died. Yep. It's when you have a big one, man, it's you lose all sorts of functionality.
If that's the case, it'll eventually have to come out because he just can't keep. I don't even know.
What's going to come out? That or Winds of Winter? Which one first?
No, Cyberfrog 3 or Winds of Winter. Who's going to finish their book before they pie themselves off of the earth? I guess is the YouTube way to put it. They're in a run and gun battle, man, for most obese writer that will never finish their book before they pass away.
Whenever that first started going down with him, with Martin, I knew like that shit was never going to happen. When I woke up and he was live streaming, the dude was naked, jumping on a trampoline. I was like, this dude's never going to finish.
God, I'm so glad I never saw that.
Ever in the history of anything. He will never.
I know that the internet is forever, but I hope that isn't. Oh my God, I never want to see that.
It was very awful. But like it was like he made his HBO money, and he was like, and being thrust into fame so old in life, who knows what that's doing to him?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't know which one we ever see first.
Yep. I'm not doing anything this week except working, so there's that.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
I think I will be on Rogues Gallery on Friday.
Oh, look at the doggy.
Hello, puppy. What do you want, mister?
I'll just be reading books.
That's what I'm going to try to do. I need to after reviewing that terrible Nightwing thing. I need to scrub it from my brain with good Nightwing.
That's well, you got it right there, and mine will be here tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So
there you go. You got that? Did you get that and Robin?
I did not get Robin. I just got both the Nightwings.
I got a stack of books.
The one was
31,
but the other one was 59. But I still said, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah,
you know,
I ended up getting
the
Mark Waid Flash Volume 2 Omnibus, but I'd already kind of spent my budget on comic books anyway, so that was the last one I needed to get. So.
Warren, what did you say? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I got a stack of.
Goodbye.
Oh.
You look really like
nice.
that.
Nice.
MSK over
Go ahead,
here.
man. Sorry, my bad. I'll still
I got a stack of graphic novels that I got to go through myself. I got the Supergirl of Tomorrow one. I got the Ain't No Grave. It's an Image series I heard really good things about. Also, those.
Let me ask you: did you get Bug Wars from Jason Aaron?
Which one?
Bug Wars #1. Did you get it from Jason Aaron?
No,
it's an Image comic that just dropped. It's on issue 2 currently right now. If you want to go through it, we can. I mean, literally just gonna be on issue 2.
Yeah, I got to make my run.
Did you read it?
The comic book shop.
Issue 1, not yet. I just got it out of my haul yet, so I gotta.
Do you know where? Before you commit to reviewing? Do you know where it is?
Yes, it's right there. It's literally right there. Why would I rely?
You find Screecher #3 yet?
No.
It's in the place where his bed should be, so he can definitely see it. It's a giant empty space.
You guys are fucking assholes. Fuck off. Oh my god. I'm joking. No, it's one of the things where I tell people this. The reason why I'm very harsh on comic books and movies and all the things we talk about is because I genuinely love it. I really love it. So when things are not good, or when I feel like things can improve, yeah, I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be angry when people are spending their hard-earned money that they really work hard for on floppies that are just fucking pointless and useless. And you have all that tie-in bullshit you were talking about earlier with no, this event, you gotta buy 80 book tie-ins. Do they think we're just made of money?
That was awful. That seriously was
mega
that
crossovers.
And I mean, and you know me, I'll buy it because I want to read the whole thing. But dude, whenever I saw that Night Terrors thing, and I seriously was like, there was literally 70 books, and I couldn't believe. I was like, whoa! Like with Dark Knight's Death Metal, when you already got 27 of them, you're like, Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. But then every single character from Night Terrors got at least 3 books, and then some of them had 4, and there was and they were just stupid.
Nowadays
there was
they slap
one
the tie-in
good one
issues on, right? They slap it's a tie-in issue, but back in the day before these new events, they never had tie-in on some of the books. You didn't know they were tie-ins. You were just buying the regular book you were buying, and it just tied into an event. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Because usually it was what would happen is they when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, that was a separate book, but the characters that were involved in the book, some of the stuff might revolve around it. So you were already buying those things. They weren't making a separate book like Crisis on Infinite Earths Flash. You know what I'm saying? It was already in the Flash you were buying.
Yep.
So that's that's another problem that we have spoken about in depth.
And when they would do those ones, it was never the actual creative team from Flash. It was whoever they could scrape off the bottom of the barrel of writers and artists. They always looked like shit. They always read like shit. Those were mega events created by committee. So I mean, some of those guys were probably not even writers. They're just interns or a janitor. You never heard of them before or ever again. They just appeared out of nowhere. That would be fun to rank the worst one-off comic book tie-in comics ever. What are some of the worst, the shittishly drawn and written? Because those they didn't exist back. The first mega crossover I ever got was Onslaught, and that one kind of made some sense, but it happened in the normal books, and then it had a beginning and end, double size one shot. I thought that was a perfect mega event because it really one shot, no extra mini series. You got the regular books that you got. Maybe you got a couple extra that you didn't normally get, and they told the whole story and it was done. But they didn't have Uncanny X-Men : Onslaught for 12 issues or 3 issues or some shit. I remember they did that. They started doing that in when was that? When did they do that? They did that during the Initiative and during Dark Reign. They did that a bunch of times.
Yeah, there was
in Marvel
definitely a ton
time.
of Dark Reign ones. Yes.
Yeah, and they were bad. I think there was a Dark Reign Guardians of the Galaxy one or Star-Lord one or something like that. It like didn't make any fucking sense at all. And it was terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. When it has the branding on it, like the name
Warren,
of
is
the
your mom
event
mad?
on that book. And then the other like Robin Infinite Crisis tie-in crossover. You know, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Gotta read that one.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to add that to the list of all of the other shit I need to read for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's
so bad?
When what's more sad is like some of the newer events, like when for my channel, I did Dark Crisis, right, on Infinite Earths. And the messed up part was it had so many tie-ins, right? But three of the tie-ins that were not in the regular publication of said books, like Batman or Robert, you had to read. Like if you didn't get those,
that's even fucking worse.
That's even a huge part of the story did not make. It was literally Damien takes these people and he figures out how to break the great darkness. And if you didn't read that, right, he just shows up with Sidewinder. He just shows up. And you're like, wait a minute, how did this happen? And that's what happened to me because I was reading them and I went to do my video and I'm like, did I miss something? I went back, and then I was like, oh, I have to order this fucking book. Like, fuck. This is so stupid. I was so pissed. And it was essential reading. And it's like, that should never, that is massively irritating.
That should only exist for completists. And they never even saw a lot of print run for those either. Like if you saw, like if you didn't have it on your box pull and you went to the shop to try to get it, there was maybe 2 of them. And if you didn't get there first thing in the morning, you lost that. So
that's even if they got them.
Critical reading, your smart shops would avoid shit like that. They were like they saw it as unnecessary. They didn't order extras. They just didn't know.
You know, if other characters are involved, they don't have to be essential to the crossover. Like. If you have New York being invaded by an army, and then in Daredevil, it's just Daredevil for 2 issues saving a building that's on fire. It's in the event, but it can be its own thing. Like you don't have to connect everything together where it's like, okay, in Daredevil, they're going to do this. Then you have to go over here and read Heroes for Hire, because if you don't read that, then you won't know about this over here. Like, no, you can have interesting stories that take place in a mega event without connecting all the mega event stuff together where it has to be read. You know?
Yeah, you can see the repercussions of it either during or after, and it's like,
man, are these guys bankrupt? It just feels like there's so many, and it's not even just big events that we talk about. I feel like for Marvel and for DC, there's like all these mini events that happen too. Like there was like several events that were happening within Marvel. Like last year, you had like the Sabretooth War, then you had Blood Hunt, then you had these other characters having this event. Like you have like a big event, you have like these mini little events for these characters too. It's like, god damn, why is everyone in a war? What's up with war? These guys, all these guys are in a war. There was a Gotham War, a Sabretooth War, a Blood Hunt. God, guys, it's okay. Enough war. Could we just have a different style of event? Maybe they all go knocked into the past and they fight their future self or whatever. But all right, Savage Dad, is there anything you want to bring up before we head out of here? Anything you want to shill beside having sex with my wife?
None of us are having sex with your blow-up doll, bro.
Oh.
Go to bed.
Not going to happen.
I'll go to bed later.
You don't have a bed.
What are you talking about? I have a bed.
I'm going to floor later.
I have a couch.
Wait, is his bed his wife? Is it an inflatable mattress?
He uses the same air pump for him.
Whoa. Well, he's saying
batteries.
That's the thing. You know, when we were kids, adults would have to blow up the balloons for us. Could you guys ever blow up a balloon? I couldn't do it. I didn't have enough mouth to put air into the balloon.
I just can't believe that this is where where it's gone.
Yeah, you should go see a doctor. There's something wrong with your lung capacity.
All right, Savage Dad, do you have anything? Do you have any plan coming up?
Rogues Gallery on Friday night.
That's it. And we'll have our show on Wednesday without these clout chasing fucks around. You know, we'll just be able to talk man to man.
Well, you know what I'm doing?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be blowing up a bunch of balloons.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just be on screen with this clout chasing fuck. Where we should be reviewing a comic, but MSK won't be able to find it in his
I don't even know where it is.
And then we're just gonna probably make jokes about EVS for a half hour, look at comic books, sales charts, and then I'll press this and we'll end the show.
I still can't get over the fact that one of his bitch-made boys, John Malin, said, "Do I have to?" There was a tweet. I shit you not. It was a tweet where he literally said, "Do I have to blow my fucking brains out, Ed Piscor style, to get F&T to notice me?" You know, I laughed so hard, my actual stomach hurt. I was like, "Who the fuck?" Right?
I don't remember. I think I might have responded to that, and I think I said yes, you do, but with a finish.
Shit. Oh shit. Oh wow. All right. Laps, Andy. Want to chill plug coming up? Me and Laps are going to be doing our next review. It's going to be on the Batman Hush trade paperback, and then we're going to do Heart of Hush. Then we'll be going into Batman 158. And if you guys have kids, and if you like Sonic, DC X Sonic the Hedgehog issue #1 drops this week. My two favorite things in the world: the Blue Hedgehog and Batman.
Did that come out today?
It's today. Yeah, it drops today.
Yeah.
Yep, it's out.
Yep. I grabbed it.
I'll have to go to the I'm gonna have to go to the shop in the morning. Shit,
dude, that Ethan Young cover looks so good, but they didn't have it on my comicsshop.com. They had the main cover. The main cover is cool, it's fine, but that second cover was so damn good. Oh,
they only had one cover at my shop.
Yeah, the other one sold out. Apparently, it just damn. That other one looks so damn good.
How many issues did your shop have on hand?
They had like when I got there, they had like 10.
Damn.
Okay, good. Hopefully my shop.
You would think a crossover like that would ignite people, like Sonic and DC.
No, dude, are you kidding me? 10 issues outside of box pulls at a comic shop these days. They bought a lot.
Yeah,
they bought a lot. That's way more. Yeah.
No,
dude, most shops are smart enough. They don't buy shit outside of their box pulls. Whenever I go to the shop, they've got maybe 2 issues of even mainline shit up on the shelf outside of box pulls.
I want you guys to
maybe
know that.
Like X-Men and Batman, there's 3 or 4, but everything else, or Transformers, everything else though, they like 1-2 issues. Like Spider-Man, 1-2 issues maybe. The
shop I go to is in Pittsburgh, which is a very comic book friendly place.
That's great.
But they you're right though. Like on certain things, they don't have a lot of stuff outside of what's in my box.
Yep.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They're learning they can't fucking level. They just can't keep piling. They run like at one point you think like they would just learn to stop buying it, but I also think they run out of rooms.
Can't they ship the unsold books back to the publisher?
You know
I thought there was something where I thought there was something where you could ship. You can't like I had a
hell no. The publishers would have failed a long time ago.
Dude, I had a shop owner on Dennis Barger. I had a shop owner on last Tuesday. Yeah, last Wednesday I had him on. I'll have him on again for one of these shows to give us some insight on like owning a shop actually, because it's really good. If you want to watch the episode, one-on-one, it's really, really good. But I'll have him on one of these shows to, tell us about what's this like owning a shop. Because he said he does not buy new shit unless it's absolutely something that a bunch of people say, hey, get this. He said Absolute Batman, that is being bought. He said that's like the only new thing he really buys because that's what actually sells, which is fine. You should only buy the stuff you're going to sell to your customers. That's it.
Absolutely.
I'll make a video the next time I go there.
You should.
It's pretty cool. Like they have in the back they have this big game area and they do like Dungeons and Dragons nights. It's huge and they have like screens all around and stuff. And they have tons. If you like board games, dude, most of the store is board games. Like it's fucking immense because it's called Phantom in the Attic, and it's gigantic. And the comic book section is big. It is a big, comic book section, but the game side is a lot. And there's no matter any time I've gone in there, there's always people in there doing something with board games. They do a lot of Robotech.
Oh wow,
which is kind of fun. I haven't gotten back into that, which I used to play. I'm gonna have to paint a bunch of things. There you go. That's yeah.
I just printed him, but he did not handle the supports super well.
That's also the thing with like comic book shops. They have so much books in the back because they ordered so much stuff. It's like, you guys got to stop ordering that much stuff.
Well, they'll run out of room. That's why they don't order that much anymore. They don't. You only have so much room for back issues, and you've really got to You've really got to be picky and choosy with what you keep around as back issues because you just run out of fucking space if you buy all of the shit every week. And I see the stores that do it. I assume that the ones by me don't have a ton of space, and the one that's big by me has a lot of toys and collectible stuff like that.
Yeah,
they sell over in their side room.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they move, and they probably do a lot of business online. Would be my guess, but they don't put a lot of new stuff up. It's all collectibles.
Yeah, either they're making bank online, but keep in mind when you make bank online, fees. That's why most of them have their own websites. Because if you sell through eBay, you get fucked in the ass on fees, like fucked in the ass. Yeah.
So, dude, I wouldn't even care if somebody would just buy my copy of Godlike off of eBay. It's been up there for almost a fucking year now.
Just give it to me.
At least 8 months.
I love John Malin. He's my favorite. Whatever. I can't finish that sentence. So I just want to say thank you to Labs Common for being here. Lunchbox Warren. There's a Savage Dad whom I would do the show with anyway because it's Wednesday. Also Jared, he was here earlier. You know, it's great having us do this for the first time. You know, maybe we do it again next week and we go over some topics. I don't know. Who knows? I don't like these clout chasing fucks here. They kind of give me the ick. You know?
Yeah, you. That's so good.
That's
so good.
Yeah, these guys are just trying to chase my
fantastic.
These guys are just trying to chase my comic book clout. But no, okay, so we won't have the show tonight with Gray because obviously we already had this show anyway. It's fine. This would cover it anyway. Because Gray is going through some various, not marital problems as far as like they don't like each other. His wife apparently broke her leg, so she has to get surgery. So I told him, hey man, no, just take care of your life stuff. We'll just go next week. It's fine.
How do you go from having problems with your wife to, oh no, she just broke her leg? Their marriage isn't in trouble. She just broke her leg. Why couldn't you just be like, he couldn't come on, his wife broke his leg?
I'm not the best person at delivering the news, as you can obviously see. But, you know, so we'll have Gray back next week. He's going through some life stuff right now, which is fine. It's okay. It happens.
He rented a giraffe and it went terribly.
Exactly.
Who rents a giraffe? Do you live next to a carnival? You odd human being?
No, but
you live next to a carnival?
No, my town is full of meth addicts and crackheads. I saw a dude doing meth butt naked while he watched two dogs have sex. I didn't watch him. I left, but the point still stands. So, Thursday, Cloud9 podcast with me, Mr. Blanks, 7:30 p.m. PST. Me and Lunchbox Warren. We're gonna be doing a comic book review on Ultimate Wolverine #1 topic, usual. Friday, Absolute Wonder Woman #3 on Friday. In topic, and Saturday, that's the show me and BS Warren have, unless Laps is going to be there on Saturday. So if not, then it'll just be me and Warren. So that's pretty much it. Also, Laps had mentioned he can't do Fridays right now until he retires because his work's killing him, and that's fine. You know, I already replaced him with my DEI hire right there. There you go. You got replaced by a black man.
Oh.
Hey, what? I'm just saying, like, Disney can hire fucking, like, you know, Snow Brown, Snow Rico. You know, why can't I have my own DEI hires?
Snow Rico.
Wait, is Snow White a mantle by that logic? Whatever. We're not doing that, right? We're not doing that. Who will take up the mantle of Snow White next? God, you're all
MSK,
black.
Probably.
Yeah, you know, if you want to have sex with Sparkles, I'm the thrust king, so you know I can definitely satisfy women with orgasms. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK show. I hope you guys had a great day, and we'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody.